Welcome to the Canberra Hockey Centre in Lyneham. My name is Chris Coleman. It's a very exciting night for hockey with the trial of a new 9-a-side format happening here in the ACT. We'll explain a lot about this as the night goes on. If you're a hockey fan and have been for a while, you and I are going to learn a lot about this sport together as the night progresses. But alongside me, Shay Onatiri, very experienced hockey player. Excited about tonight?
I am excited, very excited. It's a perfect evening here in Canberra, and I think we're in for some exciting hockey.
We really couldn't have asked for a better night. You look up, blue sky, as the sun gets down, the lights will take effect, and I know that this centre looks spectacular under the lights. People are in for a very special treat on the stream tonight. They
are, and I've had a chat to some of the players as I came in this evening, and they're excited to try it out as well. So, a big night. Excellent.
We'll find out more about it from your perspective as a player as the evening progresses. But we've got a couple of guests with us here as well, as we are courtside at the moment. Andrew Skillen is the Hockey Victoria CEO, and Gavin Hunt is the Hockey ACT CEO. Hockey Victoria very much involved in this new format. Let's find out a little bit about it now. Or firstly, actually, before we find out about the format, let's find out why we're trying this new format. Andrew Skillen, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. It's great to be here. Nice to head up a little bit north. It's nice. It's a little bit warmer for once too. No, while we're doing it, we're obviously really aware of what the other codes are doing and innovating. Codes that are really pushing their female formats, etc. And we really know that as a sport across the country that we need to be looking at new ways to attract not only talent into our sport but eyeballs to our sport. And there's been a lot of work done across the state and territories in researching, working with the Australian Sports Commission on what would hockey need to do to become attractive, to be able to commercialise the product, to be able to grab the attention of the wider community to come down and enjoy our sport. And a lot of the research talks about the great aspects of our game, which is that it's fast and it's skillful, and when we have moments that really attract people to our game, they're the things that people like to see. And perhaps the research tells us with the 11-a-side format that it perhaps doesn't do that enough. You know, we're a code that you can walk off the ground with a 0-0 result, or you could walk off the ground with not too many shots, depending on how the teams are playing. So there is a view that we need to change things up a little bit. We need to use the strengths of our sport and repurpose that, you know, and make sure that whatever game we do come up with going forward with our national competition is one that, you know, our hockey community will be really proud of, that we're trying to innovate, and one that the wider community will be interested in.
And Gavin, what do you think bringing 9-a-side will bring to the game?
Yeah, look, Shay, as Andrew said, I think it's one of those areas from an innovation perspective that we're looking to create more celebratory moments during the course of a game. Of course, that'll mean more shots on goal, a couple of extra players off the pitch creates more space, and a lot of what we're hearing at the moment from trials that have already existed in Victoria, it was very fast and exciting. There's a couple of other pilots going on around the country over the next couple of weeks where hopefully we'll get enough information that provide us with whether this is the right format or not to go forward.
Something I mentioned in the build-up, it's almost a unique component in sport. Certainly I think it's the first major sport to trial having mixed gender, men and women, on the field at the same time. Why that, and how important is that element?
I think you've just said it yourself, Chris, because we are the first major sport to give that a go. So from a innovation perspective, it's something that we're very keen to trial, see if it's workable for us, and if it is, fantastic. That's one of the things that we think sets us aside from a lot of sports and puts us in a true gender diversity perspective. So really exciting.
And Andrew, we've heard about the 9-a-side and the mixed component. What are the other rules we're going to see tonight?
Yeah, as Gavin mentioned, it's all about trying to create more celebratory moments. So as part of the format, the three key innovations are basically two players at all times being in the front 50 yards. They can remain fluid and move in and out of there, but obviously stopping teams from falling away and cluttering up the game. So obviously trying to keep it nice and open. The second one is a field goal conversion. We want to see players have a crack and try and score goals and be rewarded for that. So additional points being able to be picked up by going to a one-on-one after a field goal. And the last one is a power play. Sounds like, you know, every sport wants to have their power play, and I thought we don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So we're trialling some power plays. So both sides will have a 5-minute period throughout the action to play for some additional bonus points. So it'll be really interesting to see today if teams are chasing the game, or if they're ahead, how they play that. You know, that little things that we've never looked at before. So that's exciting.
Andrew Skillen, the Hockey Victoria CEO, Gavin Hunt, the Hockey ACT CEO, bringing you just a little bit of preliminary information about this product test, the 9-a-side on-field product test that's happening here at Canberra, and we'll be explaining more about what goes on as the evening progresses. But Shayana Terry, I know I asked you just a minute ago how excited you were about tonight, but it's not every day you get to see something like this, a brand new version of a well-loved sport.
It's not, and the beauty of it is that the players have had an opportunity to prepare. In talking to them as I was coming in earlier, they said that they're ready for it, they're excited, they think it should be a good spectacle, but also a really good contest that I think once they move beyond the different format and some of the rule changes, their focus will pretty quickly go on to winning the game.
Let's not talk about what's different. Let's talk about what's the same here. It's still hockey. It's the same size sticks, it's the same size ball, it's the same size field. The game's a little bit shorter than most people will be used to playing, but it's still going to be fast, it's still going to be furious.
It is, and the format should highlight what are the strengths of our game. So once the game starts, we're going to see players exhibit all of the skills that they're used to doing, but hopefully with a bit more room, and hopefully we're going to see some attacking hockey.
9-a-side, I suspect that by the time we get into the fourth quarter for the men, it's going to be a bit of fatigue creeping in, and we should see a lot of goals scored in that last quarter. Now, we don't know yet, we will shortly, we don't know yet when these power plays are going to be taken. If you were making the decision to take a power play, when would you go for it?
Look, I was thinking about that earlier. I think I'd probably go for it quite early. I think particularly as the players feel out the new rules, yes, it will be fast and there will be open space, but I think there's also going to be some cautious play, and you might find that, particularly, say, that second quarter, things start to open up, I suspect.
I was thinking about that, then I thought you could be sneaky. If you've got a speedster, maybe not someone with great stamina, but if you've got a fast player and you can keep them involved in just a limited capacity through the first three quarters, go for your power play in the fourth quarter and just keep getting the ball to this fast player. There'll be space, there'll be chances. You get the 2-point goal, and we should explain more about that in a second, and the chance to turn it into a 3-point play. There's just that chance to capitalise on fatigue a bit later. So it'll be interesting to see what strategies are employed by the various coaches. Yeah,
it certainly will be, and that's, I think, going to be one of the exciting factors about tonight. I think, like any sport, leading is good, and we've seen in some of the other formats of various games that it's hard to chase down. So I think my preference would be to set the tone early, but we'll see what the teams do soon enough.
Well, let's talk about the other rules. So 9 players on the field at any one time, and as we heard in our pre-match, 2 players must remain in the attacking 50 at all times. So that will make it a bit harder to stack the defence, which is great to see. Other restrictions. When we get to the mixed component, we'll explain more about that in a moment, but it's going to be 4 men, 4 women, plus a goalkeeper, gender of your choice. Doesn't make any difference in there. But some changes to what will happen with penalty corners during the course of this format.
That's right. So in terms of penalty corners, they will be only worth 1 goal. And there's also then the ability for one-on-ones that will come into play as well.
Yeah, so a penalty corner worth 1 point or 1 goal. A field goal worth 2, and when a field goal is scored, the player who scores that goal then gets to have a one-on-one, just them and the keeper, for the chance to turn that 2-point goal into a 3-point play. And that could see some really fast turnarounds in hockey. And I don't know whether it's ever happened to you where you've been a couple of goals up late in the game and you've been able to wind the clock down. That won't be possible here, because a couple of goals up, you can't wind the clock down, because suddenly a goal, 3 points, and you're behind again.
No, certainly, Chris. There'll be no resting on your position in this game. And look, in any game, the tide can turn quickly, but certainly in this, if you're able to score and execute again, you can really pile on the points or pull back a deficit.
Now, we mentioned the mix. This is where we should explain the format. We're going to get 4 10-minute quarters for the men. Then there'll be a 5-minute break, 2-minute break between each quarter, by the way, 5-minute break. Then we start again with 2 10-minute periods of mixed 9s, then another 5 minutes, and then we get 4 10-minute quarters for the women. It puts a bit of pressure on the women to have them going last.
It does, and it's a long evening for them. The women are here already and will have started at least loosening up. and they will have to pace themselves in a different sense. Some of them will be involved right from that mix component all the way through until the end of the evening.
Power play. Again, we'll be advised of this, and this is one of the things, I love this. You don't get to choose the power play when your team's about to go on the attack. You've got to nominate beforehand when the power play is chosen, during what quarter, and so you're down to then a 5-minute period out of that 10-minute quarter for your power play. There's no power play in the mixed, but we have a power play in the men's, a power play in the women, and we'll advise you of those later. You'll hear 2 hooters sound to signify the start of the power play, and again, during the power play, no penalty corners for the side that has called the power play. Instead, they get a one-on-one, so the chance to really stack it up with some attacking hockey there, because as we all know, attacking hockey, if you're attacking, the odds of your team getting a penalty corner are right up there. So you really want to go flat out attack, attack, attack during that power play period.
You do, but Chris, by the same token, certainly you've got the opportunity to double points and to pile on a lead, but it would be heartbreaking almost to push for those extra points, expose yourself and come out of a power play down a couple of goals. So, that balance between attack and defence will still be there, but certainly you would hope and you would expect that teams will throw caution to the wind a little bit in that period.
Did you ever think you'd see the day where there was a potential for a 6-point goal on offer in hockey?
I'm a defender, so...
Not probably never wanted to,
yeah.
Yeah, so... And that's the thing, during the power play, your score is doubled. So if you get the 2-point goal, the field goal, that's 4 points. You get the one-on-one, convert that, that's another 2 points. So there's a potential for 6 points on offer there.
It's a game changer. I mean, if you're able to execute that 5 minutes well, and I suspect we'll see both teams have come out with a pretty particular plan, certainly for that period.
Very few stoppages during the course of these nine-a-side games. Come along, enjoy the ride. Hockey Australia and Hockey ACT after your feedback. They'd love to know what you think about this as a fan of the game, or perhaps you're a new observer watching hockey for the first time. If you want to provide some feedback, you can do so by going to hockeyact.org.au. You'll notice we haven't gone through the team lists. That's not for any other reason and no disrespect to the players, but this is much more about the format than the play. But we will let you know who's out there. ACT in the royal blue, New South Wales in the lighter blue setup, as we see the ACT side going into attack first. They go out to the left side, straight into the attacking 25. A turnover.
And Chris, we can see already the field is quite stretched, so New South Wales obviously have to play with the 2 high players, but they're certainly not sitting right around that halfway mark. They're pushing up quite high already.
We're going to see a lot of long balls here. I saw Kieran Arthur for New South Wales really getting set but couldn't control. Now New South Wales have turned it over. Pat Keir, centrefield, gets it across to the left. Longish ball, tapped up, but first real shot of the game goes wide, and it'll come back up to the top of the circle. So under a minute gone, and we've already had 1 shot on goal. Most of the play taking place at the ACTAS, ACT Academy of Sport, attacking end of the field. But New South Wales on the go now with Ryan Proctor coming up towards the halfway, in fact into attacking territory now. Puts it forward. Looks like Jack Donovan way over in the corner of the field. Now this is where the 9-a-side option may open things up, because they can't put additional players up to shut him down, and instead it's been a turnover. He's tried to put the ball backwards, and now we've got the ACT really on the charge, but there's just nobody around. Could have been a foot call there, and now we've got a trip, so there'll be a whistle, and that'll be ACT taking the ball forward, coming across to the near side of the ground. Ball bouncing around. Keep it on the ground, boys. We've got a whistle, so New South Wales turning it around once again. So at this stage, the side's still really feeling their way through. Tom Brown, ball across, was looking for Hayden Dillon, but Dillon can't control it. Good attacking opportunity for the ACT now. That's Ben Staines. Staines brings it across to the near side. Wait. It's a little bit hard to pick up these ACT jumpers and numbers in some of that mixed light, the shadow and the light. Really fast-paced game already, Shay.
It is. We can see with each team, as soon as they've gained control, they've moved forward quickly. Not much in the way of lateral passing. Maybe now we'll see them settle it down with some of them blowing a bit hard.
All the attacking, or most of the attacking, coming from the ACT side at the moment. Glenn Turner, gee, there's a name.
It is. And look, it's fantastic for fans to see him still going around and competing, but also the opportunity. I'm sure something like this will invigorate him.
Great chance to see him out there. Isaac Famillo, I think that is for New South Wales. They drop the ball back. Now they've got numbers over to the left. Ryan Proctor, he's got Mudford. Ball was just cut off there. Samuel Mudford it was in the 3 who was charging towards the top of the circle. He would have been on the way. We've got the power play verdict. Shay will wait for a break in play and then you can tell us what's going on with this. New South Wales, though, they're setting up for an attacking run now. Ryan Proctor in centre field. Now they come across to Samuel Mudford. He waits and waits. He's in space. And they go across to the far side again. He's been waved forward, has Mudford, by Proctor. Proctor goes back on the outside and across. Now this is really the first time we've seen a side just pause and hold for a minute. This is a little bit more traditional hockey play. Now they go forward. Do New South Wales love it at the edge of the circle, dispossessed.
Good tackle by Kershaw there, deep in defence.
Did well, but it's a New South Wales ball. They're playing on very quickly. They'll bring it back up. Who have they got? That's Hayden Dillon again. He's had a lot of possession, has Dillon. Pushes it back to Proctor. Proctor turns around, gets it back on the outside once again to Dillon. And Dillon back to Mudford. So it's Mudford, Dillon and Proctor really the engine room of this New South Wales Academy side at the moment. 4 minutes gone and we're waiting for a break in play so we can tell you when the power plays are coming. I can tell you they're not coming anytime soon, so we don't have to panic about that. Mudford. Let's put the ball forward. Found Hazel. Hazel. His cross intercepted, and it's the ACT on the break once again. So while the ACT bringing the ball out, Shay Onatiri, when do we have the power plays coming up?
So, you were right, Chris. Well, at least the teams have gone with your suggestion. New South Wales have opted to take their power play in the 3rd quarter, and the ACT will take theirs in the 4th quarter.
So 3rd and 4th quarter, we've got our first short corner of the game here. No real surprise that this has resulted in a short corner with Aaron Knight. You can see very, Isaac Famillo rather. I was going to say dispossessed, but more dispossessed of his feet than the ball and winding up on the ground. No real surprise. The short corner has been awarded. Now, that's showing my age, isn't it, short corner? We don't have the difference. And you see Famillo there just charging through, winding up on the ground. And so New South Wales looking to draw first blood. What have we got? About 5 minutes gone in this first quarter. Something we didn't talk about, the difference that only having 9 players out there for the short corner will have for the players. You won't be able to set up as many attacking options, not as much variety available to you on the corners.
No, they went with 2 players in deep defence there, so they took 2 batteries, but really, yes, you are limited in your options.
Because you've still got to keep 2 up the other end.
That's right.
As we wait, ball comes in, kicked away by Brendan Hill, the ACT keeper, and the ACT really looking for any old way out of dodge. Go for the long ball. Now, who have they got? Matthew Neeson in the headband. There's Turner on the attack, but instead goes back to Kershaw. That's Aaron Kershaw. Kershaw looking for Turner. Ball goes up in the air. I heard calls of corner, 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 but no joy. ACT go out to the left. The middle ball on the ground, almost the first 2-pointer for the day. But again, repelled. New South Wales back quickly in defence. Finding it interesting here as that ball goes out of play. And Shay, finding this really interesting with the players, the 2 players who are required to stay up in the attacking half for New South Wales. ACT, even when they're on attack, not abandoning them, not leaving them on their own to try and get an extra man in attack just yet.
That's right. We can see a different style adopted by both. It's allowed New South Wales for a long period, at least in this first quarter, to control the ball. They were prepared to send up the extra man and only leave 1 deep. So we saw New South Wales hold the ball for an extended period because they had that extra player in the front half. For the moment, ACT playing it a little more cautiously.
What can the New South Wales side conjure up here? They've gone probably a little bit deep. Comes back, hard hit ball. But again, no joy for either side. Dylan Martin now for New South Wales. Gives it off to Kieran Arthur. Back to Martin. So New South Wales have made a couple of substitutions. Unlimited interchange here. Kurt Lovett on the outside. Takes the ball into the circle. Still going, still going. Looks for the goal. Can't find it. Goes wide. ACT ball. Worth repeating here if you've just joined us. Field goals in this game are worth 2 with the opportunity to turn them into a 3-point play. So we're going to see, I think, Tides actually hold possession more in that circle in the chance to try and actually take the shot. Whereas in the past, again, there might have been the temptation to try and force the defender to make the mistake and just pick up the corner. Yeah,
that's a very good point, Chris. I think probably at the start of the game, teams will be happy to get any points on the board, but I think particularly as the game goes on and teams are chasing or trying to really extend a lead, we might see that happen.
So what we need, I think, is the first score. It doesn't matter whether it's a 1-pointer, a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer. We need the first score. I reckon it will change the composure and the character of this game very, very rapidly. That one's just gone out over the sideline there. Miotto was set to go, but he's lost that one, and ACT coming back with the ball. Where are we up to? 8.5 minutes gone. Long ball intercepted by Mudford. They come across the outside now with Lovett once again. Kurt Lovett.
And you'll see here, Chris, New South Wales again prepared to push all of their players forward except for one, and that allows them to really hold the ball and control it in that front half with the extra player. The risk for them is if they turn it over, they face a 2-on-1 in their own half, but for the moment, they haven't really exposed themselves.
Wonder if the ACT are aware of that. They'd have to be. They'd have to be aware of it, that if they can get possession on a long ball, that they've got the extra man inside the attacking 50. Lovett has been one of the busiest men out there for the New South Wales side. New South Wales playing in this, you can almost call it an Argentina-style strip, couldn't you, with the blue and white stripes on the front, the pale blue on the back.
It is, and we'd like to see some of that flair as the game progresses, I'm sure.
Does that mean it was a goal we have to drop into the goal a bit, or would that be going a bit too high? Here we go. Break for the ACT now. On his own down there is that Kershaw down the other end. We wait and see, but they couldn't get the long ball away. Love it. Said he was one of the busiest men out there for New South Wales. He's run 75 yards to intercept and get the ball back. So New South Wales with, about 20 seconds, 30 seconds left on the clock in this first half will have possession. No, they won't. Kershaw, Aaron Kershaw. What can you do with it, ACT? Well, the answer is not much. Intercepted once again by New South Wales. That was Proctor. He gives it across to Kurt Lovett. 19 seconds remaining. Can they get a 2-pointer as the clock dies down? No, because that's the ACT bringing it away once again. And indeed, oh geez, you don't see too many of those these days, the old back pass. But it's there.
And they'll just play out the clock here.
They will now. 3, 2, 1, and we're into quarter time. So we'll get a 2-minute break at this point. Shay, impressions on what was a surprisingly fast, albeit scoreless, but a surprisingly fast first quarter.
It was scoreless, but lots of opportunities created, and interesting to see the two different approaches, and both approaches yielding opportunities. New South Wales probably had the slightly better of the opportunities, but ACT certainly, particularly early, created a lot of chances.
And see the tactics boards. Now let's see if we can stay with this shot for a little while, if we can keep that. Unfortunately, we've lost it. We couldn't pick up very much off the boards there. Shay, you're more experienced with that kind of stuff than I am. We did have magnetic boards back when I was playing. So tell us a little bit about what you might have been able to glean from that New South Wales board there.
Look, Brent Livermore's a very experienced player and coach, and I think he'll be saying to the players from New South Wales' perspective, things have gone quite well. They've been able to hold the ball, as I've said, going forward. What he'll be reminding them, though, is that if they turn over the ball, they need to get back and protect the middle of the field very quickly. Because of the fact they're pushing that extra player forward, it means they potentially expose themselves at the back. So he'll be telling them, keep going, have confidence in what you're doing, it's going well, but make sure that while we're searching for that goal, we're not exposing ourselves too much at the back.
Now, we should mention there are a few sponsors for this event: Capital Chemist, Duncan's Plumbing Service, the Canberra Labour Club and Powerhouse Physiotherapy. And also this event has had a lot of people and a lot of organisations involved in today. It's not just Hockey ACT. There's the ACT Academy of Sport, New South Wales Institute of Sport, Hockey Australia, various state bodies involved, not just Hockey ACT and Hockey New South Wales, but Hockey Victoria, as well as match officials, ball kids. and you're watching it all, of course, here on Bar TV as the time ticks down. These breaks are going to be quick, aren't they?
They are. And as you mentioned, the support from sponsors and the state and national bodies, also good support from the Canberra crowd out here today. There looks like a reasonable crowd out there, and it seems to be building.
So no score in the first quarter, and the whistle sounds to get the second quarter underway. I don't think everyone was ready out there, least of all the players.
The second quarter.
Kurt Lovett was certainly ready. He was off.
From what I've seen of him so far, he's almost missed a perpetual motion. He hasn't stopped. At some stage, he's going to run out of steam, but I'll just have a quick cast of the eye down the mixed team list and see whether he's made the New South Wales mixed team list. No, he hasn't. So he'll probably be out there for just about the full 40 there, going full tilt for the men's. We'll get to the mixed in about 35, 40 minutes' time here at Lynham. Beautiful evening here. If you're within Cooey of Canberra, or within the inner north of Canberra, you want to come down and check this out. Once the lights come on, this field looks absolutely phenomenal. So you might still get here in time for the first goal as well. This is the first real stoppage we've had here. Largely because I think we've managed to lose a ball somewhere. So James Day has to wait for just a moment. Day scoops it over to the outside. He's found Aaron Kershaw. Kershaw looks further upfield. Comes back to Kershaw now. He'll go across. This is the nine-a-side stuff coming through here now, seeing players in more room in the midfield. Interesting that New South Wales, when they are in defence, they're choosing to drop players back whenever they can.
And for a moment there, Chris, you could see ACT, and here they go again, Kershaw pushing forward. ACT seem to have been given the instructions to be a bit more attacking. They've pushed all of their defenders up over the halfway, so they'll need to hold the ball here.
We saw a lot of this from New South Wales in the opening 10 minutes, this hold the ball between the 25 and the halfway line and move it around and move it around. And the ACT got sucked into it a couple of times, ran forward, and it gave New South Wales the opportunity. Now, New South Wales couldn't convert, but interesting to see New South Wales have said, well, if you can do that, we can do that as well. So a bit of tit for tat. And these sides would both be learning the tactics as well. Slightly different ways of playing the game under the nine-a-side format.
That's right. They've trained and they're ready for it, and they've trialled in inter-squad matches with the new rules, but it's very different once you're out in the heat of the battle against an opposition.
Absolutely, and of course we also know there's absolutely no love lost in any sport between New South Wales and the ACT. It's almost like the game between the 18-year-old and the 15-year-old brothers in the backyard. Doesn't matter what sport it is, the little brother always likes to get one up on the big brother, and a big chance for the for the ACT to do that here today against New South Wales. See Glenn Turner chasing in there, but he couldn't get onto it. New South Wales will clear this one.
I'm sure Glenn wouldn't mind me saying he's one player that will be happy with the instruction to stay over the halfway. I played a lot of hockey with Glenn and got a lot of evil looks calling him to come back and help defend. So I'm sure he'll be supportive of the rule, keeping him over halfway.
Well, back in my days as an inside forward, I wouldn't have argued with that one little bit over a number of times, especially when we were a goal up or maybe 2 goals up. No, come back, defend for the last 5 minutes. No, that's not my game. So I'm with Glenn Turner. Can't argue with him at all. New South Wales with Brown. Going across Dylan Martin. He comes back to Martin again now. And across to Tom Brown. So this is the first real formal tactic we're seeing operating here. As New South Wales go on the attack there into the D. Ball goes across towards the goal. Intercepted ACT.
I think that might have clipped the foot on its way.
I think there was a foot call in there. We have seen the one of the umpires. Oh, 3 umpires. We should mention that too. There's one in the attack, one in the defence. The other one, you probably won't see them. They've got a really interesting job. They've got to monitor the 2 men inside the forward 50 rule. But otherwise, we'll hardly see them during the course of the day. Nice work if you can get it. No, New South Wales on the attack through Aaron Hazel. Hazel charges through, but a good kick away from Brendan Hill.
And a penalty corner.
Oh, we've got the corner.
Ball's come up.
Okay. Not such a good kick away from Hill.
No, look, he had to make a play at it, and it's very difficult there when runs rushing out at it. But ideally, he would have kept it down.
Plenty going on here tonight at the ACT Hockey Centre in Lynham. There's the ACT Indoor Hockey Finals are taking place this evening. So I'd imagine a few people will make their way out from that once it finishes to join the crowd here. And there's a few clubs having training sessions, and they'll join the crowd as well. So it'll build up as the evening progresses. What can New South Wales do here? Now this time looks like they're setting up for two options from the penalty corner. Proctor to bring it in, and they've just lost control of that.
Missed trap there, which they'll be disappointed with. They've worked hard to put a bit of pressure on it.
Got it back very, very quickly. Mudford was in position. Ball has gone into the goal. We've got a two-point play. Well, that was very, very quick and shows the importance of maintaining possession at all times. ACT lost the possession and New South Wales have rebounded very, very quickly.
First goal of the game for NSWIS, Ryan Proctor.
And I think the final touch there may just have come off Kershaw.
Well, the stadium announcer's given it
Great save for
to
Brendan Hill there.
Proctor.
2-point play for New South Wales.
Ryan Proctor gets a 2-point goal, but no conversion on the one-on-one. That was a lot faster than I was expecting it to be too. So we've got 2-0 the score. New South Wales over the ACT, and New South Wales with the ball again. Will that early two-pointer or first two-pointer change the complexion? Kieran Arthur sends it across to Dylan Martin. It's back to him again now. ACT coming up a bit further in defence than we've seen from them earlier. That's going to leave a man open inside. That's Kurt Lovett. Lovett has a look, has a shot. Actually goes for the pass in the end. The ball is on the ground. New South Wales trying to get it out. They flick it over the keeper. Charging in is Mudford. Mudford can't get his shot away. New South Wales lose the ball. ACT have an extra man if they can get it across to Turner in quick time. He's there. It's one-on-one. Turner and the keeper right on the edge of the circle. Turner shoots and, oh, gee, how did he miss? How did he miss that?
They did everything right there, and a good turn and shot from Turner. New South Wales able to just put enough pressure on him to get him off balance.
So you might have noticed we've installed
play.
a new scoreboard here at the National Hockey Centre over the last 2 days.
That was the first little bit of excitement. Watch this from Turner just on the replay. He's got it inside the circle, turns around. That's a veteran player, and that,
we'll try to keep you up to date.
gee, that really didn't miss by much.
And the time.
An important timing probably for ACT. New South Wales that appeared to step it up a gear in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So good for ACT to put some pressure, and that will just keep the New South Wales defenders in check and maybe a little deeper.
Arthur, Mudford. Mudford into a centralised role. Standing right on the halfway line. Back across to Kieran Arthur on this left side. Arthur zigs and zags. And back to Mudford again. And now Arthur. Mudford comes up inside the 25, up to the top of the circle. He's got a couple of players in support. I think that may have actually come off the foot of, was it Hayden Dillon in there?
It was a good tackle by Shivers, I think it was, just reaching in.
So Josh Shivers, was Isaac Famillo in fact in there. You probably can't spot this on the camera deck there, but there's actually a very big hole right between me and the top of the circle. And the action taking place just behind that pole, so apologies for misnaming there. Turner has a look, may have thought there was someone behind him, but there wasn't. It was a lot of empty space, and New South Wales, they're on the attack now. Around to the 25. Love it. Now they reverse the play over to the far side through Mudford. Mudford, long ball, can't find his target inside the attacking circle. New South Wales, well, I was going to say they're facing a rebounding ACT, but not just yet.
I think ACT will be happy to just control the ball here for a period. They've certainly had a couple of attacks themselves, but they have been under pressure, so they want to settle themselves and just control it for a period.
Now, we do have an issue with the scoreboard at the ground here, so we don't have a clock operating at the ground. Our scoreboard our clock on screen is approximate, so don't panic if it gets to 20 minutes time elapsed and you don't hear the siren go. There have been a couple of very short stoppages, but the scoreboard on the ground has actually departed in the hearse for the time being, and hopefully they'll get that rectified. And we've had an announcement from the ground marshal here. There's about 2 minutes to go. That was Ryan Proctor, the goal scorer for New South Wales, on the attack before, but it's a quick rebound from New South Wales. Can they get the extra man advantage? No, they can't. It comes back once again through Lovett. Lovett, looking left, looking right. He goes through to the top of the circle. Ball comes off an ACT foot, so New South Wales will have the chance to attack here from just outside the D. They put it across. Now it's Mudford, and his attack just dribbles over the end line, and it'll be back to in fact it must have come off an ACT stick, so it's gone back to the New South Wales for another go with Hayden Dillon. And now Pat Keir for the ACT sends it upfield. Different target possible this time. Interesting attempt to go for the high ball. What are you reading from the players' body language as we get close to half-time, Shay?
Look, there's still some attacking happening, but there looks like quite a few tired legs out there, and we can see the last sort of 2 plays were probably examples of just a bit of fatigue. But ACT will certainly want to push forward here for a chance to get on the board before the end of the half.
Well, this is the thing we mentioned about the power play, which is still to come, but we've also got the conversion attempt. The ACT can get a field goal here. They can turn this 2-goal or 2-point deficit into a 3-2 lead before half-time. By my reckoning, about 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Mudford for New South Wales sends the ball back. That's a play that's really fraught with danger in this nine-a-side version, because your margin for error is just so much smaller, but I think New South Wales are content to just play this out. See Proctor, he's got Hayden Dillon over this side. Mudford gives it across to Dillon now. Dillon is back into defensive half. Now he gets into some space, but the siren sounds, and we're at half-time. Now, the half-time break is not going to be a long one either. It's not like other sports. This will be another short break, another 2-minute break. So those tired legs aren't going to get much time to rejuvenate.
No, they won't, Chris, but it's unlimited substitutes, so both coaches will have a job ahead of them managing players, and particularly with the fact that some of the players are going to have to back up shortly in the mixed game. I'm sure they won't be saving themselves in any way for that, but even just managing that fatigue for this game is going to take some thought.
You can see some of the ACT players on your screen there, and there are a couple of them who appear to be really sucking in some big breaths. There's James Day. Pat Keir goes out of shot. Josh Chivers. Maybe Dan Hotchkiss in the bottom corner of the screen.
And look, most of them will be well into their pre-season training, so I know there'll be quite a bit of running happening. But it is different playing a game. The fatigue on the legs, the changing direction, and throwing the decision-making makes it a lot more difficult.
I'll just let you look at that whiteboard for just a moment and see what you can try and pick up tactically for us, Shay. Quick mention, of course, if you are watching this game tonight as a hockey fan, or whether you're watching it as an interested sports fan, the people at Hockey Australia and Hockey ACT are after the feedback from viewers on this nine-a-side experiment. So as the game goes on and you get a bit more feeling about what you think of it, whether you like it or don't like it, let us know. Go on the feedback page at hockeyact.org.au. I believe the survey's now up on the front page, so it's very easy to find. And let the hockey people know what you think about it, especially what you like about this. I've got to confess, I'm really enjoying the speed. It's a lot harder to call than hockey used to be, but hey, we'll get there for that. But it's just a very, very fast-paced game, and I'm really enjoying that part of it.
It is fast-paced, and look, a little bit of fatigue has crept in, and that's to be expected, but the quality is still there. Right at the end there, we had a couple of attacking forays from the ACT. ACT off again here quickly.
NSWIS have got their power play available to them.
So New South Wales will take a power play during this quarter somewhere, so keep an ear out for 2 sirens to sound. I can tell you we've got our scoreboard, our clock on screen working perfectly at the moment, unlike the scoreboard at the ground, so hopefully that'll keep us relatively in check for the course of this third term. New South Wales leading 2-0 over ACT. It is, of course, the ACT Academy of Sport, the New South Wales Institute of Sport. And New South Wales, I think it's fair to say they've really had the bulk of possession so far during the course of this game, but unable to convert that into much of a scoreboard advantage yet. As Hayden Dillon goes around in circles, dispossessed, but he draws the free. So he'll take that from pretty well where he stands and goes across the ground. And New South Wales suddenly running an extra man forward, so they've got a choice of 3 up front, but the ball goes over the sideline, and it'll be an ACT ball. They keep playing with this very, very quickly. Pat Keir unable to control. ACT may just get another chance at this through Aaron Kershaw. They do. Kershaw keeps going up the sideline. Now finds Turner. Turner looks for options. Did he come back for Kershaw? No, they lose the ball. New South Wales have got it, and they're very quickly on the attack.
Good tackle, Kershaw.
Great tackle. Across to the far side. Come around the ACT, but New South Wales with it once again. That was Kieran Arthur. Goes across to the outside. It's got Jack Donovan has the shot. Ball goes into the keeper, and ACT looking to rebound. Have they got a number advantage? No, they haven't. New South Wales have plenty back. Chasing through, Jake Staines. There's more to get the ball forward. They've got a chance here to the ACT. It's up, oh, it's off the crossbar. The cows out over the sideline. That was a nice shot, reverse stick shot across the body.
Did well to get it away and get it away quickly, and just unlucky that it clipped the crossbar there.
Ashley Thomas did a great job. We should mention that as the keeper, really cutting down the avenue, cutting down the angle. Just check this out. Watch this. Goes across the body and gets it.
He couldn't have done much more there,
no,
Chris.
not
No,
really.
Very good shot.
Inch higher and it's over the bar. Inch lower, it's in for a goal. Instead we get the speaker. You don't see that often in hockey, do you? Off the crossbar. See plenty off the uprights, but not many off the crossbar.
No, you don't. And from that sort of range as well, very powerful shot, and got it away quickly, which was the important thing.
Been impressed with this guy. Just about my man of the match so far, Kurt Lovett. Spun around, got the stick penalty. He's on the 25. They go across to the far side. It is so difficult to just pick up the players as we go from the dark to the light and back to the dark. Lovett inside the circle now, looking for the field goal or the penalty corner. He turns around, back stick over the crossbar. So we're seeing a few more of these high shots now.
Yeah, New South Wales there again pushing players forward, but pushing the ball quite high, which opened that up. And Lovett has been a workhorse today, really connecting the defence with their attackers.
But again, it's the whole thing. That field goal, if you can get it, is worth 2 points. So it's worth taking. It is a slightly riskier play. You often see them penalised if you don't get it right on that higher shot, don't you?
You do, but the reward is there. I mean, if they get that and they're able to turn around and put the following 1 point in, suddenly it's a 5-goal game.
Brent Livermore from NSWIS.
Hayden Dillon it was for New South Wales, and he's got it again.
Yeah, it's an interesting call.
And they come across through
now
to Mudford.
Front three. But now they've got a place and options a little bit more advantageous.
What the options are. New South Wales really running around a lot inside that attacking circle. And just bring the ball back, showing great patience. That's with Dylan Martin. New South Wales looking to achieve, but can't. Ball goes out over the back line. And that is, again, it's come off an ACT stick, so it remains to be New South Wales in possession. Dylan Martin again. Now with Proctor. Proctor goes goalward, and it goes across the face of goal. This time we'll come back to the top of the circle. ACT to turn it around. They've got Turner. Who else have they got over that far side? Oh, geez. That's a disadvantage to the speed of the game there.
It is, and that play really typified the different styles at the moment. ACT looking to go forward very quickly every time they get the ball. New South Wales looking to move into that front half quickly and then hold the ball and see what they can create.
I think it was Lewis Shepherd who nearly went base over apex over in that far corner. Really slippery. As we get down now to the sideline, let's see what we can bring you from ground level. Aaron Hopkins is down there. Aaron, take it away.
Here I have Brent Livermore, coach of NSWIS. You've just called the power play, Brent. What was there any strategy?
Yeah, a little bit of strategy. I think with the ball, what we're looking to try and do is search a little more with the front three. So we've been playing with the front two throughout the majority of the first half of the match. So with the power play, we look to search a little bit more and have a little bit more risk at taking. So we're getting exposed right now, but a little bit more risk taking in attack with the ball, with the front three.
Fantastic. And also with ACTAS having a player sent off, that helped out?
Yeah, so ACTAS did have a player sent off, and that allowed us to be a little bit more risky, but they've just got one on the counter-attack, which ACT are doing quite well throughout this match.
Thanks very much.
For a bonus ball.
Let's go, man.
And as is always the way, you go down to the sideline and you get some action on the field. As you've seen there, Lewis Shepherd scores the goal and has his one-on-one. And in the dying seconds of his 8-second one-on-one period there, unable to convert, but we're all tied up at two points apiece. It sounds funny saying that in hockey. I don't know whether we're going to call them goals or points, but let's just say 2 apiece. And Lewis Shepherd just beautifully there, getting into some space and chipping it over the New South Wales goalkeeper, Ashley Thomas. Well done, Lewis Shepherd. Your thoughts on the goal, Shay?
Look, it is an example of New South Wales have controlled the ball, but it is always a gamble pushing players forward, and they paid the price. Very well executed in the end by Glenn Turner and Lewis Shepherd. and just unfortunate he couldn't put the one-on-one away there to just move into the lead.
Changes the complexion of the game again. New South Wales, I think, may have been starting to feel a bit comfortable and perhaps weren't dropping back as fast, thinking that with this 2-goal break and the ACT having been unable to really break the deadlock, New South Wales perhaps starting to think that the game was going to go their way. But the ACT showing on the fast break, having to have the man up there. Ball gets away. What you can't see on your screen, by the way, is there's now a good conversation going on between one of the ACT attackers and the goalkeeper down there. Again, you don't see that too often.
We're all learning new rules here during the power play period for
So we're into the power play period.
That's a one-on-one, no short corners for them, so they're one-on-one for NSWIS.
So we were going to go to a penalty corner, but I didn't hear the hooter go to signify the start of that power play period. But apparently we're in the power play now. So
for double points as well, Chris, that we're going for.
So instead of a short corner, instead of a penalty corner, we're one-on-one. So you're looking there, you can see the view that Brendan Hill has. If you haven't seen a power play before, it's very simple. 8 seconds you've got from now to try and get the ball in, and it's from Millo, comes up, goes to the right, puts the ball low, and Hill able to block that off easily. So the first of our power play scoring opportunities in this game defused and remains at 2 points apiece. ACT versus New South Wales, but New South Wales have got the ball back once again. That looks like Hazel going forward, but dispossessed. Now the ACT, who have they got up forward? They've got Turner, he gets it. Turns around at the top of the circle, puts the little pass through, but just a little bit wide.
And we spoke about this before the start of the game, Chris. New South Wales on their power play, really looking to search forward and extend their lead, exposing themselves at the back. So almost going down by a couple of goals during their own power play.
Now, we didn't get a notification when this power play started, so we're a little bit in the dark here, but perhaps that explained why they had so many men up forward, which contributed to Lewis Shepherd scoring the goal for the ACT. And now we've got Turner. He's got time. Oh, that's gone straight into the net. He's got it into the corner. That is all class. So Glenn Turner gets the 2-pointer and he goes for the conversion. Which way is he going to go?
I think he'll go in, move the goalie left and try and get it right.
Well, correct so far. He goes left and the goalie, Ashley Thomas, dives through and taps it away.
Great save by Ash Thomas.
But, well, we mentioned in the pre-game build-up that the power play could go horribly wrong for you. And in this case for New South Wales, I think it has gone horribly wrong.
It has for the moment, and they're really going to be now. The question is, what do they do? Do they try and consolidate and just settle themselves, or make the most of whatever's left of the power play and try to pull this back, if not regain the lead?
So the horn will sound twice.
So 15 seconds in the power play for New South Wales, and there is in fact 2 very short squirts on the hooter, so the power play is over, and with 15 seconds left, a chance for New South Wales to have, to try and draw something back, but at this stage they've gone from a side that was leading 2-0 going into the power play to being 4-2 down at the end of the power play. It's all gone horribly, horribly pear-shaped.
It has, and we've set ourselves up for a wonderful fourth quarter here. I mean, there's still time left here, and this game can change quickly. And here we go with Lewis Shepherd with the ball in the corner.
Shepherd, there's only seconds remaining, has the shot. Oh, he's got it in! He's got that through a gap that existed for a fraction of a second. Perfect hockey from Lewis Shepherd, his second 2-pointer tonight.
Len, your thoughts?
Just check this out on replay. Maybe we'll hold the replay until after the... Oh, no, we got the replay. Watch this. He gets it through the feet. And there was no gap there. And now he's turned it into a 3-point play. And in a matter of, 5 minutes, the ACT have added 7 points to their tally. I defy anyone to say they saw this coming. Now watch this from Shepherd. He's got through one, and the gap between Samuel Mudford and the goalpost was minuscule. Ashley Thomas, the goalkeeper, had left perhaps a little bit of space there, but that's just great hockey from Shepherd.
Really good skill along the baseline, getting the ball in the air over the defender's stick, getting the shot away quickly, and just wrong-footed Mumford there. It wasn't a particularly powerful shot, but well placed and had the keeper off balance.
Well, courtesy of Lewis Shepherd with 5 points, 2 2-pointers and a conversion, and Glenn Turner with 2 from a field goal. New South Wales find themselves 7-2 down against a rampaging ACTAS side now. Virtually no time left in this third quarter. New South Wales with the penalty corner. So we hear about 1 minute remaining. There's obviously been more stoppages than I was prepared for. Ball straight into the pads of Brendan Hill, the ACT keeper. And again, so
he's been very good tonight, Brendan Hill.
You see masks and gloves and all sorts of protective equipment being thrown around.
And I think ACT will have a go here for another one.
Well, why wouldn't you? You've got a 5-point break. You've got less than a minute to go. You may as well really throw everything at it. They've got Turner. Now it's Shepherd. Come around. Ball coming towards Turner, but
calls for a penalty corner, but not given. New South Wales will need to be quick.
And they are being quick through Kurt Lovett. He puts the ball across. He's got support. Lovett gets a stick on it and dribbles it into the goal with only seconds remaining in the quarter. 7-4 now the score with a 2-pointer to Kurt Lovett. Well read, Shay. Well read on that play.
And as you predicted, Chris, before the game, it really has opened up in this third quarter. The standard of the hockey is still there, but certainly clearly a bit of fatigue creeping in. But also I think the players have got a knack of where they're going to be and they're comfortable with the spacing now.
I'm not sure who the support player was. See if we can pick it up here as we see Kurt Lovett. I couldn't see who the support player was who he got it across to, but it was smart play there to actually just push it through as we see Lovett now in the one-on-one looking, and great work by Hill, and there's the whistle to signify time is up. So Lovett gets the shot away, but after time has expired. So that will make it 7 points to 5. No, 7 points to 4 it'll be. Although the scoreboard at the ground is saying 7-5. I've got it at 7-4 because I've got
quarter we just had there.
two-point goals to Lewis Shepherd, a 2-point goal to Glenn Turner, and a conversion to Lewis Shepherd. That gives us 7. I wish you could see the scoreboard. It's doing gymnastics. It's going up and down between 7, 9, 8, 4. It's jumping all over the place. And New South Wales are on 4.
I think it will
So
find it will settle on 7-4.
We have ACTAS 7, leading NSWIS 4.
There we go.
There we go. We've got it officially announced on the ground, and the scoreboard agrees. So 7-4 the score. ACT over the New South Wales side. Final quarter. Now, in conventional hockey, this is where if you're in a situation like this, you're up by 3, you'd be tempted to just drop the extra man back, and to use soccer terminology, you'd park the bus and you'd just say, right, that's it. We've got a 3-goal lead. We're going to hang on to this. Here, not really an option. We've got 2-point plays in prospect, and also the ACT still to take their power play.
It does. It adds an extra bit of intrigue to it, Chris. The ACT here will be conscious that one more goal really in the power play, and particularly if they convert the one-on-one, would go close to putting the game out of New South Wales' reach. By the same token, New South Wales will certainly feel as though they're a chance here. There's 10 minutes to go, and other than a couple of lapses in deep defence, they've been pretty good.
And let's not forget too, this isn't the game. This is just part 1. This is Act 1. The score doesn't reset. There's no differential for winning the men's and losing the women's. It's all in. You're all in this together. We've got 4 quarters for the men, 4 quarters for the women, 2 periods of mixed. The scoreboard doesn't reset. The game just continues to roll on. We wind up with 100 minutes of hockey. And so the ACT have to continue to play here. They can't get this defensive mindset now. We've done our job. We've got to head after 3 quarters, because they can't factor in what's going to happen in the next 60 minutes.
No, at all. And I think particularly we can see how high scoring it is. And while you're on a roll, I think what will be important is that you make the most of it. Because later on, whether it's in the mixed or in the ladies this evening, if a team gets on a roll and really converts, they could blow the whole game apart.
New South Wales straight into attack through Ryan Proctor and Kurt Lovett, the men who've done all the scoring for them so far. Hopefully we'll pick up the double siren hooter for the ACTAS power play. I wonder whether they'll take it early or late in this quarter. 20 seconds into it now, 10-minute quarter, 5 minutes of that to be taken as power play time. New South Wales, with all the possession at the moment, they're continuing with this game plan that they've settled on to have lots of possession between the halfway and their own 25. Now they go further into attack. In and around goes, I think that's Lovett again.
And I think the thing that's troubled New South Wales when they've turned the ball over is just how high the ACT strikers are prepared to wait. So New South Wales certainly have been prepared to hold the ball, but the problem for them has been having a world-class striker like Glenn Turner able to sit on the circle of the 25 throughout the game. And with the pace of Lewis Shepherd, it's caused them some trouble.
I've looked down there a couple of times at Glenn Turner, and I can tell you he's had a massive smile on his face down there. He's loving every second of this.
He may put his hand up for another 10 or so years of National League if he's allowed to sit at the circle for the rest of it. But certainly playing it very well for the moment. And to be fair and to his credit, he is defending with a lot of intensity when the ball is in his area.
When you've only got to play with half the field, it does save your legs. And who'd begrudge Glenn Turner that after all the years of service he's given to hockey in Australia?
Only a defender who used to play with him.
Here he is now. He's got it. Who's he got? Had Pat Keir as the target.
Wonderful save.
Yeah, that's a great save.
Another fantastic save there for Ash Thomas.
Ash Thomas has had a fairly serviceable day. Now we've got the power play. So they've called it while they've got the ball. Hotchkiss goes across to the far side. Now, for the next 5 minutes, New South Wales will be very, very cautious. ACT, what have they got? Have they got something special? Kershaw gets it across to the far
here
side.
Ben Bishop, the coach of ACTAS. You've just
Ball goes away.
Yeah,
And it's with New South Wales now. Donovan, he sends it up forward.
Had some possession, not so much now.
On the break.
Part of the field, so we thought we'd give it a
With
try.
numbers here, New South Wales.
ACT not able to get back quickly. Good defence there. It might have been Kershaw who actually got in there and got the stick down in time. You need to attack quickly, though, in the power play. You've only got 5 minutes to get the double points. Kershaw still going with it. Puts it up forward now. It's Turner. Who's he got? Well, will he need anyone? He's in the circle. Now he's out. He's right on the edge. He's waiting and waiting. And then sends it back. Extra man coming forward now. Back outside.
And ACT can afford to control it here. They've got their power play. One goal within the power play would really be enough to steady this game.
Could be. Anand Gupta is... we haven't seen a lot of him now. It's with Keir. Keir comes across, finds Gupta. He's in space, just needs to go a little bit further forward. Might have been Aaron Knight with the shot. It was. ACT will continue on the attack. Keir across out wide. Back to Pat Keir. Now with Turner. He's inside the circle. There's a shot. They get the corner. Now, of course, we're in the power play, so this becomes a one-on-one, not a corner.
And Turner will take the one-on-one.
Well, you'd want Glenn Turner or Lewis Shepherd. They'd be about your two options for it, so Turner's away. He went left, then right last time. This time he's gone left, now right, now left. He's got some space if he can get the shot. Time will be about up on him, has the shot, gets the ball in. That'll be a two-point power play conversion. Well done, Glenn Turner.
I think they're just checking the time here, Chris.
Let's have a look. We've got a word going on.
It's a goal.
Pointed up towards the centre. Glenn Turner gets a... Well, how do you note that in a scorebook? 2-point PP or something like that. You've got to make up a whole new set of scoring terminology and notation here. That's just class, and that is class and experience, really.
And composure.
Yeah.
He had a plan. It didn't come off, but was able to just steady himself and get away a good shot. And I think the keeper had... Thomas there had
Thomas back on
play
now.
was over, really.
Glenn Turner converted his one-on-one opportunity. Sees ACTAS 9
was,
NSWIS 4.
Age and what's the saying? Age and experience will I can't remember it now. Will always overcome youth and something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. ACT still with another couple of minutes left in the power play, and they lead 9-4 here. 5 minutes overall remaining in the men's portion of this match, and about I'd reckon a minute left in the power play proportion. As we see New South Wales on the attack now. The ACT defence really does seem to have stiffened up somewhat in the last few minutes and providing great resolve. Ben Staines on the attack. Glenn Turner, he's got it again. Got a couple of men on his inside, just waits. Loses it for a second, turns it around. ACT have got three players on this side of the field if they can get it across quickly. Matthew Neeson's one of them. He's there. He's outside the circle. Goes further forward. Comes back to Neeson now. Keep listening out for the two blasts on the siren to denote the power play ending because it can't be far off finishing. The ACT have got it. Shot saved by Ashley Thomas. Good work.
And both keepers have been good tonight. They've had a lot of work to do. The new format, clearly very attacking and a lot of work to do. And now we see again outstretched.
Very much well done. Hardly be any time left in this power play now for the ACT. They've made better use of theirs than New South Wales did.
And that's really been the difference in the score at the moment, Chris.
Well, yeah, I think we can say that, all the ACT points have come during power plays. Only 2 of their 9 coming during their own power play. 7 coming during the opposition's. That's not what the script was about. There's Day going for the long ball. Now suddenly New South Wales with an opportunity. Donovan gets the tap forward. He's got support inside the D. I think it's Hazel. Hazel sends it back for Donovan. Donovan goes to ground, tries to swing it around. Oh, great save, Brendan Hill.
Wonderful save there. He was in trouble. But
Another fantastic save there by Brendan Hill. Not long left to power play now.
Replay.
ACTAS 9.
A lot of power.
NSWIS 4.
Especially on the wrong side. Gee, that's something that's come about, that's evolved in hockey over. You go back maybe 30 years, there was a bit of it. You go back 50 years, it never happened. You just get the ball onto your right side and take the shot. It started to happen in about the 80s into the 90s, the players being able to take the shots off the left with the stick the wrong way round. And now you won't make it in rep hockey unless you're equally as powerful on both sides of the body.
It's definitely the case, Chris. When that sort of play came in, it was really a specialist skill. Now, I mean, even at club level, it's not just shooting the ball. Players are able to control it with passes, whether that's on the ground or in the air. And there's another goal.
Oh, that was magnificent. Set up on the long ball. And then tapped through. So we'll see here. Jake Staines.
Field goal there for Jake Staines.
That was Kershaw, and Staines, right man in the right place at the right time, just stuck the stick out.
For a 6-point play for the ACTAS.
One of my old schoolmates, Rob Martin, would have loved watching that. He was a specialist, that kind of stuff. I'd put the ball forward and he'd do it. Staines on the one-on-one, has a second crack at it.
And he's got it.
And that's the huge advantage to a one-on-one play compared to the old penalty stroke. You know, in the penalty strokes, it was a real lottery. Here, there's a bit of a chance for both players to assert the skill, but you've got to continue through. The little chip up there from Staines, and he just draws the keeper off the line, Ashley Thomas, and once the keeper's come that far off the line, it's trouble, because with all that gear on, you just can't be mobile.
And we've seen the last 2 one-on-ones, Chris. In fact, the first shot or the first attempt at controlling it or going around, the players lost control, but it's been that ability to regain the ball, stay composed and put the ball at the net.
Now, Staines has managed to get 6 points there. We should mention that as well. 4 points for the goal, 2 points for the conversion, so it's now 15-4. And I don't think anyone would have expected the scoreline to blow out like that in favour of the ACT this early in proceedings. Bearing in mind we've still got an hour of hockey to go, 20 minutes of mixed and 40 minutes of men's. A little bit over a minute remaining in this fourth quarter of men's hockey. 9-a-side on-field product test between the ACT Academy of Sport and the New South Wales Institute of Sport. Can the ACT, well, can they add just a little bit more salt to the wound before the break? We had Aaron Knight. That's Jake Staines again, I think. He's lost control of it. So New South Wales looking to break back before the end of this one. As we see Lovett still going. It's still going. Up towards the top of the circle. Gets around. Ball sent away over the...
and there's Kershaw again. It's been a rock back there.
He's had a good game as Kershaw in defence. Not the kind of thing you'd expect to be saying in an attacking game like this, that one of the better players for the ACT has been a defender, but Aaron Kershaw has been very, very good.
But I think it's that presence in deep defence that has really allowed ACT to push players up the field.
Now, as you see, the clock on screen's reached 40 minutes, so we are into, we'll call it added on time. This is from penalty corners, one-on-ones and goals, where there's a little bit of stoppage time, only a little bit. So New South Wales, if I'm remembering this correctly, this will be the third quarter of the 4 where they've had a scoring opportunity in basically added on time, in extra injury time or stoppage time.
And they'll be very keen to finish on a high note here. As you say, the points continue on into the next 2 components, so it's important to give themselves a platform going into the mix that they're able to put away some goals.
It'll be like any sport, momentum is what it's all about. If they can finish this game off with a score and then start the mixed one with a score, suddenly they've got 2 scores in a row and a chance to achieve. They get the ball back into the circle, and indeed they do get the score on the high shot. And the ACT side not terribly happy with how they've defended on that penalty corner. But again, that's a variation
Isaac Miller
on the
field
play.
goal.
with Isaac DeMillo set very, very deep, and now he gets the one-on-one. So, of course, because it's come out of the...
It's come outside the 5, so it's
Didn't even think of that. Yeah, it went outside the 5, so if DeMillo turns it into a field goal. There's a variation of play that I hadn't thought about before the game. So instead of getting 1 point for the penalty corner, turn it into the field play, get the high shot in, and bang, they've managed to get extra points back.
So they've brought it back just a little bit. We're not sure exactly how long to go, but it can't be too long. It's certainly enough for one side potentially to put on another score.
Only seconds remaining. And there goes the siren. So we reach the break here, and this will be a bigger break. This will be a 5-minute break. This will give us a chance to actually just draw breath and recap on what we've seen here.
Men's fixture. ACTAS 15,
ACT 15, New South Wales 6.
There'll be a 5-minute break before our mixed game kicks off.
So this is where it'll get interesting now, because we'll have some of the men will remain in the game. Some of the men will be able to go and take the early shower. I'm sure they won't. They'll just kick back and provide encouragement for their teammates. But again, to see the mixed happening here now with the men and the women, and I think it's a clever move to do it this way, because the men will be a little bit tired, so that will reduce some of the physical advantage that you would have in a game, men against women. And I don't think I've ever seen mixed hockey before.
No, certainly not at this elite level, I haven't. So it's going to be interesting in terms of how they set up, whether they keep the same sorts of structures as well that we've just seen in the men's game. All of that's about to unfold, but the women are out there. They're looking a lot fresher than the men are. The men, even those that are about to play, are taking a well-earned rest. I'm sure they'll be out there in a moment.
Isaac DeMillo.
They can't take too long a break. They only get 5 minutes.
And Kurt Lovett with a field goal.
Now, what will be interesting here is that, not that we'll have any trouble telling them apart, but for New South Wales, we'll have 2 players wearing number 6 out there in Tom Brown from the men's and Jessica Waterson in the women's. We shouldn't have any problem telling them apart, but this is another little interesting sideline for this game. New South Wales, just that one double up in numbers. I know they've got 2 15s out there as well, Kieran Arthur and Abigail Wilson. So New South Wales in the mix. I'm just wondering whether we've got a couple of additional players on that list. I think we might have a couple of extra names on the New South Wales list there, because I thought it was meant to be 12 during the mix, and I think we've got 15 versus 10 at the moment, but that may well change if we get that up to date. No power play in this mixed portion of the game. I know that the official sheet says 2 10-minute quarters, but to call them quarters doesn't really make sense, so we'll call it 2 periods or halves, and then we'll come back for 4 10-minute quarters as well. But let's just recap and get your thoughts on what we've seen so far. Not so much about this game, but about the way it's been played.
Look, I think both sides have been really attacking. They've approached it in slightly different ways. New South Wales looked to really control the ball for long periods in their front half and have quality opportunities. ACT were prepared to sit back, particularly early, and rely on their deep defence. And Aaron Kershaw was excellent back there. Initially, I think when ACT won the ball, they looked forward and looked long. After a while, they were able to connect certainly with the midfield and bring Glenn Turner and Lewis Shepherd into the game.
Now, how would you play this? I'll let you put your coach's hat on. You can be the ACT coach first, Shayona Terry. How would you play this middle period of the game if you were the ACT coach with a 9-goal buffer or a 9-point buffer?
I think you just have to keep going. I think we saw how quickly ACT turned around the game there, not only in terms of scoreboard pressure, but even control of the game. The way the scoring happens, you really can soak up pressure for a long time. And if you're able to convert, and the other telling thing was when ACT converted. They converted in power plays, in New South Wales power play, and then they converted in their own. And they also then were able to capitalise and take the extra point after they scored. So whilst the game, watching the ebb and flow of it looked quite even. When ACT were able to score was the difference.
That's right. Now we've got the big.
And if you're the New South Wales coach, what would you do?
Look, I think they have to throw caution to the wind a bit. I think if the ACT are able to, even in a minor way, build on this lead, it makes it very difficult for the ladies to finish. I think ACT certainly can't just sit back, but I think they can be a little bit more conservative. And look, if they were able to extend their lead even by a couple of goals, it makes it very difficult. New South Wales, I think, on the other hand, really do have to press here and either, ideally look to be in front going into the end, but certainly close that gap.
Now, we are looking
Getting all set now for our mixed
component to start.
The ACTAS team, goalkeeper
Love it when we're talking live on the TV, the screen, occasionally people getting touched. G'day to an old mate of mine, Lachlan Crook, who's watching the game, I assume in Sydney.
11,
Sitting watching with the wife of Ashley Thomas from the New South Wales team. And a message has come through. His name is actually Stuart Thomas. Not according to the sheets we've been given here, but to the wife of Ashley Thomas. We'll continue to call him Ashley Thomas mainly because A, that's what's written down in front of me, and B, it's one word feel that we have to say. But appreciate you getting in touch with us, and Lachlan, good to hear from you as well. Thanks for letting us know. I hope you're enjoying the concept. And a reminder, of course, you can fill in a survey about this new nine-a-side mixed hockey concept at various hockey websites, but most notably at the moment hockeyact.org.au. Let us know what you think about it, and enjoy the game as we get underway with the mixed hockey. I've never seen a sport at this level played by a mixed side. So for New South Wales, they're into attack first through Jessica Waterson. You can see what the division of labour is, so to speak, here as well. Will they put the women in the midfield and the men up forward and down back, or will they mix and match?
I was just looking at that, Chris, and for the moment, certainly ACT at least have it fairly evenly mixed out. We have James Day and Aaron Kershaw in deep defence, but Kate Gilmore is also back there, and at the moment, in fact, she's probably the deepest defender.
And a reminder, you have to have 4 men, 4 women in your field players at all time. Your goalkeeper can be whatever you want it to be. And at the moment, it's the ACT in attack, and that's Ben Turner gets the field goal. Oh, this match is stop. What's that give him for the night? That's 6 points, I think, for Ben Turner, so that takes it out to 17. And again, just showing the advantage to just keep on playing and keep on playing. And I think Ben Turner will play for another 100 years. 1-on-1 into the circle. This time goes left, holds the ball, pulls it back, goes right, takes the shot, and this one defended away. But it's now 17 points to 6. You said that in the half-time break. If ACT can add another couple of points early, it makes it very, very difficult for New South Wales. At some stage, New South Wales are going to have to throw caution to the wind and really just go all-out attack, aren't they?
They will, because the risk for New South Wales is that if ACT are able to pull much further ahead, I think we probably will see some of them sit back, particularly, say, with some of the women having to play later.
One-on-one, and the person who wins the short corner in the eyes of the umpire will be the person who has to take
Tell you what's really awkward about calling this game too, just from a commentator's point of view. And I know they're after feedback from everyone, so I'll put this. I was just starting to learn the players, and now half of them have changed on us, so we've got to go again. No mistaking that man, Turner. Who's he got in support with him?
Smith, I think it was.
Jess Smith was indeed. And she has a shot. Unsuccessful. We see a substitution taking place for New South Wales. And the crowd is already approaching the 500 mark. That's not bad for what is really just an experiment in a new way of playing the game. So great to see. I'll tell you one other thing too. I've just noticed that we had for New South Wales, Bella, not Bella, who was it? Was out there? There's a player out there that I didn't have listed. Alice Arnott it was, who was out there for New South Wales. So they've made a couple of little additional changes to that New South Wales lineup that I wasn't necessarily expecting. Ryan Proctor, now he goes around and finds Morgan Blamey. Now it's with Dylan Martin. Martin sends the ball back. It's Blamey again. Morgan Blamey. And we'll come downstairs.
Here I am with Ben Bishop, the coach of ACTAS. Obviously, traditionally it's 11 people aside.
Attack, so we'll just sit tight for a second if we can. Wait till we get the attack, this attack over and done with. Once again, it's Blamey.
Here I am with the
field.
coach of ACTAS, Ben Bishop. Now, traditionally it's 11 people aside. Now it's down to 9. How have you got the structure?
Yeah, we've tried to be a bit fluid with the structure where we've given the group some suggestions about how we start, what shape we start in, and that's generally been a back three, but as we move the ball forward, we want to make that shape a bit more fluid and changing.
Thanks, Bish.
Thanks, mate.
Back to the live action here at the Hockey Centre at Lynham. If you've just joined us, that score is correct, 17-6, but it's a little bit different from the hockey that perhaps you may have grown up watching. And your eyes are not deceiving you as well. We've got men and women out there playing alongside each other as well. This is the 5th period in a 10-period game, I guess is a good way of describing it. As we see New South Wales with the ball coming across to the outside now through Dylan Martin. Who have they got up forward? Multiple options, 9-a-side hockey. That'll be Ethan Hazel. He gets it across Michaela Patterson. Patterson on the charge towards the goal. How excited will the girls be if they can get one up on the blokes here? What do you reckon, Shay?
Look, there've been some great plays already by the ladies. We just saw them strong
Down
on the
the
ball,
sideline, Ryan Proctor from
very
NSWIS.
skillful.
How you
So
doing?
I think it's going to certainly add something. As I say, a really unique concept at this elite level of sport.
Yeah, it's been fun. Rolling around with Coach from NSWIS is always
Enjoying watching it so
good
far.
role, so having fun.
New South Wales
We'll enjoy it, mate.
on the charge once again. Ball on the stick, but it goes outside.
Cheers, mate.
Now, this is where we'll see a. Is this a corner? Let's just check this on the replay. Oh, yeah, we've got reaching in there James Day. So this will now not be a penalty corner. This will be a one-on-one. So the ball will come out to the 25, as I'm sure you're aware by now, and it'll be Erin Hazel up against Brendan Hill. Hazel goes left. Uses the body to shield the tactic. Good work from Hill the first time around, and time elapses, I think, before that goes into the goal. It does indeed. So good work from Hill to just keep covering, keep cover all the way through. Score remains 17-6. ACT over New South Wales. 5.5 gone in this first of 2 10-minute mixed hockey periods. And again, it's actually started much the same way as the men's did, with New South Wales doing the bulk of the attacking.
It has. Controlling the ball. Both sides, it looks like, feeling themselves out a little. The ladies will be getting used to the format. I think, again, as the game continues, we'll see it open up. But certainly for the moment, anyway, New South Wales controlling the ball.
Ryan Proctor with a long ball into the path of Tamsin Bunt. Bunt may have had a good opportunity there, but it was just inches wide of her. You've got Kate Gilmore turning around trying to get the ball out from in there, but instead she's tackled and dispossessed by Kurt Lovett from New South Wales. And that's interesting. I didn't even have him on the list for the mixed squad for New South Wales. So we're on the learn here as we go. ACT on the attack. Turner goes left, goes right, gets it on the back stick. Good save there from Ashley Stewart-Thomas. Got it right that time.
You did. Very good.
Ball comes out to the 25. ACT remain on the attack. And just taking some time to slow things up.
You can see the slight difference in play. ACT controlling the ball, but the New South Wales strikers, and they're starting to move a bit higher now.
So Kate Gilmore in there. New South Wales getting away with it. This is Tamsin Bunt. She was busy up one end of the field. Now she's back with it down the other. New South Wales really pinned down in attack. Smith had just a moment of opportunity, but the door closed on it very, very quickly. Now it's Bunt once again. Ball goes forward. Charging after it is Proctor, but he sees the ball go out over the sideline. ACT will have it at about 5 yards out from their own back line. Turn it around. It'll be Day. As for the high ball, across field finds Tina Tseska. Tseska still going. Good ball to maintain. She can give it across to Turner or keep going herself. Takes it out wide, takes a moment. She's in space now, inside the circle. She has a shot, she does, but it goes wide. Nice work, though, from Tina Tesescu in the lead up there.
Very well played. Some good skill. Was able to turn her defender in a good shot. A very good save, though, in the end from Stuart Thomas.
It just seemed maybe just left it a fraction of a second too long and the angle just closed up. Must have been a glove on that from the New South Wales keeper, because ACT coming up with the ball again.
Just have a minute and a half left remaining in this quarter.
It's a Day. Across.
And James Day's had a lot to do today. He's played well.
And very, very busy. Goes for the long ball, looks for the deflection. Couldn't find one. You saw it go into the goal and straight back out and play on.
Wales.
New South Wales with a big number advantage here. They're on the charge. Ball comes across wide. Well, there was really no other outcome on the way for that.
No, ACT probably got a bit of their own medicine there. Quite a few of their goals today have come from that fast break where defenders have been left exposed, and very well controlled by New South Wales.
Abby Wilson it was, sent it across to Kurt Lovett. Great little combination from two people who wouldn't have played much hockey together, and then Kurt Lovett comes in and adds another 2 on.
Kurt Lovett. Closing the gap, slowly but surely, NSWIS.
Now 17-9 with about half a minute remaining.
And Chris, you spoke about earlier the fact that the points do just accumulate, and we can see here the fact that New South Wales, for the moment anyway, slowly chipping away at that deficit.
What are we up to? 17-9, so that's 26 points.
Two plays if it's in
a power play. That's still to come in the ladies' game. And again, you've got to start to think, would New South Wales go early, or do they go late and try and come home with a rush? I'm thinking they're going to have to go the other way. I think they're going to have to go late, come home late with a rush. ACT may have to go early as we get the hooter sound. So Glenn Turner
converts.
Has scored and converted.
And we're at the exact halfway mark of this match.
I think the siren we heard was the half-time siren that just went off during his one-on-one there.
So Turner comes on in, takes the shot, and that was indeed the half-time siren. So that'll make it, 18 points to 9. But from what we've seen so far, that's really not a huge margin. But gee, Glenn Turner's been busy today. What's he had? He's had a 2, a power play 2, another 2, and now a 1 from a one-on-one. So,
and I think the thing that he's brought to the table as well, we see his work in the circle and his composure, and that sort of plays obvious. But what we don't see is the experience to get himself free consistently. Yes, there's a lot of room on the pitch today, but you'll notice that out of all of the players that have gone around, he's consistently able to find himself in attacking positions.
So, we're at, I know it says quarter time on our graphic, but we are officially at the halfway point of proceedings here. We've still got 50 minutes of hockey to go. We've got 10 more minutes of mixed hockey. We've got 40 minutes of women's hockey still to come.
So thank you
to it's been a fascinating experiment so far, and I just got a feeling there's still more twists and turns to come.
Chris, I think there is. I'm getting fatigued watching it. So I take my hat off to the players. The beauty of the format is as well, certainly some of the men are fatigued. They're effectively a game and a half in now.
Thank you very much to the ball girls.
But the women are coming out quite fresh, and we should see them continue on and keep that pace of the game
second half of our mixed component of the game. ACTAS 18, lead NSWIS 9.
Right, so we're underway for the second half of our 10 minutes of mixed hockey now, and Ben Staines it is for the ACT to get things underway. On the charge, gets around past a couple, puts the ball outside. They've got numbers inside the circle for the ACT. Where do they go? Thought there might have been a foot in there, but no. Might be Bunt bringing it out now for New South Wales. Light's just starting to take effect here. This is going to look spectacular in about another half an hour for the last couple of quarters of the women's game. Day goes across to the outside. Looking around is Kershaw. He's been busy today. Now it's back across to James Day. James Day goes up. High ball, punched away by Ashley Stewart-Thomas. Ball goes over the sideline. It'll be an ACT ball.
Very well controlled. A dangerous play there.
So we've seen the speed of this 9-a-side game. There's no let up from it at all. James Day once again. But this time,
I'm down on the bench with Glenn
it's
Turner, 18-9, the
New South
halfway
Wales
mark of the
ball.
match. How's your thoughts?
There's Katrina Bailey-Price for the ACT, who couldn't quite control it. This bloke will earn himself a shower by the end of the day and love it. He's had a very, very busy 52 minutes out there on the field. I don't think he's been off yet. If he has, it's only been for a very, very short break. That's for Millo, I think. They're on the charge. Oh no, it's that man again, Kurt Lovett.
Do you reckon it's got another couple of years on your career, knowing you don't have to run far?
Still going at the top of the D, and he's been fouled. Whistle blows, points towards the goal. Now,
I think that'll be a one-on-one.
I'm expecting a one-on-one because we don't get the signal for the penalty corner here, and I'm just waiting to see. We've had a change in officials as well. Let's see what we can catch on the replay here. Love it.
Jake Staines lost his bearings there.
He just brings it down.
Yeah. Well, Staines was doing everything possible to just block, and love it. I think there's a bit of experience there coming through. Well, if I can't actually do anything with the ball, I'll just charge through, and odds are I'll pick up the benefit of the call. Bit of conversation going on now. I'm just wondering whether Lovett's going to get to take this. So Lovett's not taking the one-on-one. Lovett's obviously having to be maybe injured here.
I'm not sure whether he came down heavily on his knee there. He grabbed it initially, but yeah.
There's actually two one-on-ones in a row here for NSWIS.
Oh, okay, so...
One for the short corner, there was water on the field, and the second one will be against Jake Staines for going back over halfway.
Okay, so there we go. So we've got two one-on-ones that have been awarded. I'm sure you picked that up in the effects, Mike. So this one coming for a player going back over halfway. And that's a nice little backstick shot there from Abigail Wilson.
Shot.
So that's the first of the one-on-one points.
Brendan Hill has conceded there.
So we'll call that a one.
Number 15, Abigail Wilson.
So we'll get the replay in for this before the second of the one-on-one starts. Hopefully we see the little backstick flick and in off the woodwork. And now it is Kurt Lovett with the second one-on-one. Goes left, goes right, and has gone too far. Oh,
no.
Just kept it in play.
And within time.
Good stick work.
Very good skill.
The game is getting ever closer.
Catch the replay of that. That's worth watching. That's a real clinic for youngsters in how to control the ball. Watch. It comes right out to the side. I thought he'd lost it over the line. Kept it just in the field of play and little dab in. Nice work, Kurt Lovett. 2 points on those successive plays for New South Wales. Makes it 18 points to 11. And my scorepad looks like a complete mess. This is something that I'm going to have to work out. I'm going to do much more of this. But 18-11 is all that matters at the moment with New South Wales 7 points behind, which is a marginal improvement on where they were when we started this mixed component.
Thank you. Yeah, just focusing on trying to control the keeper and being patient.
James Day busy in defence for the ACT.
Well done, and NSWIS are coming back.
He's stuck down in the corner. We haven't seen a lot of that happening in this nine-a-side version of the game. Players being trapped down in the corners, and he's lost the ball out over the sideline. New South Wales coming up with it. Long ball back. That finds Morgan Blamey. Now they go across. Other side of the ground. Proctor, it was. And now Aaron Kershaw. Kershaw gets it across to Gilmore. Now back to Kershaw. Looking for the foot of Hazel. Found it.
Kershaw looking long there, but you can see New South Wales in a slightly different approach at the moment have pulled back the extra defender, so they're playing with two defenders deep. So Aaron Kershaw was unable to send that ball that he's been able to send, certainly in the first in the men's game and in the first period of this game.
Well, Glenn Turner, he's been off for a break. He's had a couple of minutes to take a breather. Will this be his last 5 minutes for the night? What can he set up? We'll see. Gilmore comes across, slower ball. I don't think she quite got hold of it as much as she wanted to. Fast break for New South Wales. And that's, who is that? That's Alice Arnott it was for New South Wales in the 9. Again, not on our original mixed squad list, but New South Wales have lost it. ACT on the attack again. Now it's with Katrina Bailey-Price. Price gets into the D, loses it over the back line. We've got about 5 minutes remaining in this mixed component of the game, and I might just, at this moment, Shay, get your thoughts on what we've seen and how the game has evolved from the men's portion into this mixed portion now, and I'll pick it up if we get some action on the field. Maybe just wait up for after this attack from Turner. Ball comes in, and that I think is the first points for one of the girls tonight in Jess Smith getting it through.
Yeah, very good touch at the end.
She read that well, saw Turner was coming through, knew where to get herself, and this will be interesting. We'll have the one-on-one. Oh, it's not the first points for the girls. First ACT points for the girls. Of course, we had New South Wales points earlier for Abby Wilson.
And the Goulburn-Crookle connection there.
Here's the one-on-one. First shot, second shot. Now, that's interesting if she can get it across, but loses it. She's enjoyed that, though. She's enjoyed that, has Jess Smith. And now we're back to this 9-point margin. It's 20 points for the ACT, 11 points for New South Wales. We've got about 3, maybe 4 minutes remaining in this mixed component. So let's get your thoughts now on how the game has evolved differently, Shayana Tiri, in the mixed component compared to the men's.
Look, I think both teams are probably playing a more similar style. We saw a contradiction in the men's with ACT looking to get forward very quickly, all the way to their front strikers. With Leward Shepherd and Glenn Turner, they had a lot of pace and skill. In this game, we're seeing both teams look to probably get the ball forward into their front half and then look to control it a little bit more. And you can see now ACT will pick up the ball and they'll be probably happy to move it around and look for quality opportunities as opposed to just rushing forward in every attempt. And they can do that with a 9-goal advantage.
No, that's for sure. And yeah, I think you're right. The difference, more controlled ball here in this mixed component, as opposed to, I won't say brute force from the men's, but yeah, more control as opposed to fast ball movement. Yeah. So ACT now through.
Interesting. New South Wales certainly in this mixed component have taken a leaf out of ACT's book, and they're certainly playing their strikers a lot higher, so that when the balls turn over, ACT are really having to work hard, and we can see Aaron Kershaw really quite deep there.
ACT also willing, and you can't see this on your shot at the moment, but ACT have dropped an extra player back into defence. So if New South Wales can get the break here, they've got a 2-on-1 in between the halfway line and their attacking 25. But right now for ACT, it's Kate Gilmore is looking outside now. This is where New South Wales may have the numerical advantage. Bunted is with it now. She's got a player in support. She's going herself, coming across, turning around. It's Jessica Waterson, and the ball just cleared away over the sideline. So New South Wales will continue on with this.
And our viewers wouldn't have seen on the screen, but it's one of the important things in this game with all of the space, the work rate by the players. Bella Apps has covered about 70 yards there and made the intercept. And that's the difference. That goes from a 3-on-2 to a 3-on-3, and ACT are able to clear the ball momentarily anyway.
Kieran Arthur inserting himself into the game at the moment as shot comes from, no shot comes in the end. Little deflection was the aimed target, but James Day got himself in the way. Now it's Kieran Arthur once again. Looking for the long ball, can't find anyone, gives it to Kurt Lovett. Lovett outside the D, gets it in. Plenty of darker blue shirts in there for the ACT, so the ACT really going hard on defence in the last minute or so of this mixed component of the nine-a-side hockey on-field trial. New South Wales looking to, they're actually looking to try and find a foot. There's so many defenders in there, so perhaps looking to try and find the foot and get the one-on-one. Instead, the ball goes over the back line. New South Wales get another attempt from on the 25. Bring it back deep. Long ball, deflection. Oh, joy, they turn it around. Now it's Lovett again. Lovett puts the ball up, straight into the keeper's mask. We've got a lifted ball. Ball has come away. And with that lifted ball, it'll be a one-on-one. New South Wales, once again, this pattern of New South Wales finding a way to try and put something on the board in time added on as Lovett comes in. Spins around, loses his footing, but drags it across far enough and gets it in.
Very well played. And New South Wales will probably be happy with that.
Another
ACT
goal,
have a good lead.
Brent
New
Swiss,
South Wales
Another
are known
few
to
more
be strong
down
in the
the
women, but
halfway.
I
Well
think we've set
played so
ourselves
far.
up for
So
a
you're enjoying the new
really
format.
intriguing finish to the evening.
Well, 8 points the difference with 40 minutes to play. Power play still to come.
We've still got some left in this, potentially, Chris.
Well, we do. There's only seconds remaining. And
There
there
we
goes
go.
the siren. So with 60 minutes of hockey completed, 40 minutes remaining, it's 20 points to 12. And gee, it sounds funny talking about hockey in those kind of numbers, 20 to 12. It brings back memories of, geez, this is going back a long time. There was a local grand final I was here reporting on, and it must have been 1990 or 91 or maybe 1992, which went to penalty strokes. And I think it wound up at somewhere in the vicinity of 26 to 24 or something at the finish. It's been that long since I've seen a hockey game with these kind of numbers up on the board.
Yeah, certainly. And look, viewers will remember, and Chris, the first quarter of the evening was quite tight.
It was scoreless.
It was, as the teams were finding their way and really feeling each other out in the way that they normally do. But since then, a bit of fatigue's crept in, but I also think because the quality of the play is really still quite high, that the players are just getting comfortable using the space and working out where they can go to get the ball in those attacking positions.
So after the men's, it was, I'll get this right, ACT 15, New South Wales 6. So the ACT won the men's component. Now the mixed component, it's 20 points to 12. So what's that mean? New South Wales added 6, ACT added 5. So not that it means anything in the grand scheme of things, and this is something we've got to mention. It's not about who wins the men's, who wins the mixed, who wins the women's. It's who wins the overall. But it does mean that that 9-point margin has been whittled down to 8. And as you mentioned, New South Wales, traditionally one of the powerhouse sides in women's hockey. The ACT, just not quite the population numbers. But again, this is where 9-a-side makes a difference as well. You don't have as many players out there on the field. So it does help to narrow that talent differential a little bit.
Yeah, look, it does. And look, I should add, our women, or the ACT women, are known to be quite strong as well. I think they've got a younger group here tonight. But New South Wales will fancy themselves to certainly make it a tight game. And as we've seen, I mean, ACT were able to pile on, I think it was seven points, not only in a quarter, but in a matter of 2.5 minutes. So the game, or the evening, is very much still alive.
That's for sure. If you want to have your say, tell us what you've been enjoying about this 9-a-side on-field product test for mixed hockey, men followed by mixed, followed by women. If you want to have your say, you can do so. There is a survey, a feedback form online at hockeyact.org.au. And, of course, a big thank you to a few sponsors of the day as well. Capital Chemists, we know what matters. Duncan's Plumbing Service, the Canberra Labour Club and Powerhouse Physiotherapy. We will endeavour to get you down to ground level again. Aaron Hopkins has been down there working hard through the first part of this evening, and Ashley Deacon is at ground level for this women's part of proceedings, and we'll catch up with Ashley a wee bit later on this afternoon. My name is Chris Coleman, and alongside me is Shay Onatiri. I've got to tell you, Shay, the energy levels, they're still pretty high.
They are, and we're going to see a new batch of fresh players coming out right now, which will lift things again.
Right, before we get down to the women's component, we can actually, for one more time, catch up with Aaron Hopkins at ground level, and I think he's with one of the goalkeepers. Let's find out what Aaron Hopkins has for us.
I'm here with Brendan Hill, the ACTAS goalkeeper. What a fantastic game. Your thoughts on the new format?
It's a very intensive match with a short 10-minute halves. There's a lot of work all around the field, especially when it comes to one-on-ones. They're quite frequent, especially during this game. And to the end, it brings the goalkeeper into the game a lot more than a standard match of hockey would. And it really tests out both sides to their attacking abilities and their defensive abilities around the pitch. So.
Fantastic, well played. Congratulations on your efforts tonight.
Well, we've had a chance, just a moment, to take a couple of breaths and regather up here in the commentary box. Wonder what it'll be like down there on the bench. Now, if New South Wales get a couple of points early in this section of the game, the mood of this complex will change considerably. The bulk of the support here is, I think, for the ACT, but the mood will change quite a bit. But if the ACT can get a couple, I wonder whether it's okay. This is really foot on the throat time, and let's go for break. We'll be advised soon on where the power plays will be. Just to recap on those, New South Wales took the power play in the third quarter for the men. The ACT took theirs in the fourth quarter. There's no discussion, by the way, before the game either about where the power plays are to be taken. So we'll see hopefully about that very, very soon. But before play resumes, let's get back down one more time to Aaron Hopkins at ground level.
I'm here with Kurt Labbett from NSWIS. New format, how'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was really exciting, something different. Obviously, it was very fast-paced, a lot of goals, 20-12, the first sort of couple of games. And it's really good, the mixed format as well, getting the boys and girls involved in one game. It's really exciting.
And a couple of goals for yourself, so a little exciting?
Yeah, a bit of fun. I like to run around a bit, so it was good. Plenty of room to run.
Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
So, the women's game about to get underway. I believe we didn't actually have any number listed for one of those players, Emily Chaffee for New South Wales. I believe she may be wearing 14. We'll know soon enough as the players get out there. We'll also be advised as to
have volunteered, have elected
the
to have their power play in the first quarter.
Okay, there we go. So New South Wales have gone in the first quarter with their power play. How quickly will they go for it? ACT.
And the ACTAS women's team list, the goalkeeper is Tara McLaughlin.
We'll give you some details of that in a few minutes as we see New South Wales starting things off. They go wide.
9, Bella Apps.
And deep. So at some stage we should hear a double hooter for the start of the power plays. That's one thing I think show that they need to perhaps look at. We maybe need some flashing lights or something to indicate when that power play starts. It's a little bit hard to know when it's actually in effect.
Yeah, it is almost. Sometimes, particularly in the men's game, we were reading it off the body language and positioning of the players. We could see they were sort of pushing forward. So, look, these are things that will be ironed out. It's a great concept, and some of these things they'll pick up as they go.
So it's Abigail Wilson with the ball. She's just outside the D, puts a high ball across, and it goes out over the back line. So that has disappeared, and it'll be ACT to bring the ball back out from the top of the circle. And they do so. So coming across to the right by degrees. Very similar hairdos out there for the ACT girls, making it a little bit hard to pick up who's who in the zoo at the moment. Lydiana Field was there for New South Wales. Now it's Alice Arnott. She's lost it. Not for long. Tamsin Bunt has the shot. Trying to get the deflection from, might have been Watterson in there at the top of the circle, but instead ACT on the attack. And there's no difference in the rules between men's and women's here from what we saw earlier. So we're back into the women's game now as the ACT on the attack through, I think it was Price. Ball's on the ground. Chance for a field goal here for the ACT. But
wonderful tackle.
Great tackle in the very last metre of defence. And denying Tina Taseska, who was on the go, just couldn't quite get a ball around from the wrong side. But now it's Jess Smith. She's been busy already in the mixed part of this game. Now Rebecca Lee. Across field, dangerous play, but tapped forward by Gilmore. I think that might have been Price. Ball goes out over the back line. No score added to it. 20 points to 12 or 20 goals to 12. You can call it whichever way you like. Must have been a deflection in there because ACT continue with the ball. Now coming forward. Still just outside the circle. They get it in. Shot goes wide. And this time we will come back up to the top of the circle. Well, New South Wales in a hurry to get to play continuing. And umpire says, no, I want that back. You can't take it from that far off the line. Across to the left. New South Wales just holding on and holding on. Once again, it's Wilson. Oh, she's been tripped. Nothing intentional in it, just unfortunate placement of foot and stick. Happens in hockey sometimes, and New South Wales get the ball up into attack. Now, who have they got? Plenty of options. Up forward, we've got Emily Chaffee. Chaffee sends it across. That's been lifted up into the face of one of the ACT players. She's actually lifted it up off her own stick. Occupational hazard when you're in attack. Chaffee puts the ball into attack. ACT, plenty of darker blue shirts in the attack, and they're on the rebound now. Do they have anyone in space? No, they don't, and it's Wilson once again for New South Wales. Gee, she's been busy. Now it's Watterson, still outside the circle at the moment. 4-on-3 ACT over New South Wales in the attacking area, and indeed New South Wales losing possession. So ACT having to defend hard and defend a lot early in this women's component.
They are. It started a little bit like the men's. New South Wales controlling a lot of play. But certainly while ACT are feeling a bit of pressure, they're able to thwart most of it at around that 25 and certainly outside the circle, for the moment anyway.
Now, I've had no notification of the power play, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't if it hasn't started. Hopefully we'll get a notification here. It's the New South Wales power play will be in the first quarter. I don't think we've mentioned it. ACT have chosen to take their power play when, Shay?
I don't think we've been advised yet, Chris. I've only been advised New South Wales are taking theirs in this quarter, but we haven't been told yet about ACT.
We'll see if we can get word of that. I'd be surprised if they took it anywhere other than late in proceedings in the hope that they're holding on to a lead and can do just a little bit more damage in there. Now, that's Sam Economos taking the ball forward. I may have called her Rebecca Lee a few minutes ago. Apologies if I got that wrong. First time I've seen a lot of these players in action. Economos. Longish ball finds Taseska. Was impressed with Taseska earlier. It's Economos again. ACT looking to go deep. It was Taseska with a shot. Good save from Hunter.
And ACT will need to retreat quickly here. New South Wales have numbers high.
Well, ACT have brought
here they
everyone
go.
forward. This is dangerous stuff here. Watterson, but couldn't get onto it. There was nobody home in defence for the ACT. They brought everyone forward. Now, was that a hooter then?
I think it was. That's the power play.
That
We're underway.
That would be the power play.
So with only 5 minutes remaining in this quarter, NSWIS's power play has automatically kicked in.
Oh, there we go. So it's automatic power play, so no call made to it. They've just waited until the 5 minutes remaining in the quarter. So a reminder for power play, it's double points for New South Wales for everything they score. They don't get short corners or penalty corners. They get a one-on-one in there, and there's the potential for them to score 6 points in one play. We saw it for the ACT earlier, courtesy of Glenn Turner. Let's see what New South Wales can do here. They look to bridge this 8-point gap that the ACT have opened up at the moment. But at the moment, the ACT, and I think the ACT have decided, well, we're just going to drop an extra one back in defence as much as you can when you're holding, of course, two people up inside your attacking half.
And Chris, I'm a little surprised to see New South Wales not pushing forward a little bit more here. They're down not only by a goal or two, but they've got the opportunity for a power play. As you said, 6 points. They can pull back pretty quickly. So certainly, look, they don't want to concede goals, but they do need to, at some stage, start to pile on the points.
Well, it was the power play for the men where it just went horribly, horribly wrong for New South Wales. The ACT banged on 7. The ACT now leads by 8, and I think you can say that the 8-point lead has come about courtesy of being able to play a little bit more adventurously because of the cushion they developed during that New South Wales power play period. But here we go, New South Wales charging forward with Watterson, but ACT defence standing strong once again. ACT can just take a bit of time here and really milk down the clock. It's probably the only period of the game where you can try and milk the clock a little bit is during the opposition power play.
Certainly, Chris, and I'm sure the message is coming from the bench for New South Wales that they need to put ACT under a little bit more pressure, because we can see ACT now themselves pressing forward, and they'll be very comfortable. New South Wales power play, the ball in their front half. That's exactly what they want. Clock ticking away, the chance for another goal.
Lots of talk down there amongst the ACT girls at the moment. They really are looking to try and do some damage during the New South Wales power play, but unable to convert. They won't mind so much. It's not so much about scoring. That's a bonus, as we see Michaela Evans from the ACT side there on screen. It's all about restricting the other side. If you can stop the other side scoring during the power play, that's good. If you can score during their power play, so much the better. Big, speedy run now from Tamsin Bunt. She was impressive in the mixed section of the game and doing well to hold on to the ball. Kept it in play too. Nicely done right on the 25 line. Looks across, tries to find a foot. No, gets it around. Play continues. Now it's Mallon, Georgina Mallon. Long ball across. New South Wales opening up space. Patterson. Michaela Patterson puts it forward. See Watterson, she's got it now, but has lost it. New South Wales have given away this one. Umpire lets play go for a moment to see if the ACT can get any advantage, and the ACT say, let's play this right up the other end. So we're about 8 minutes gone now. 10-minute period here, and we're in power play conditions for New South Wales for the remainder of this quarter of the women's game, or the women's component of the game. New South Wales on the attack once again, so 2 minutes to go. Can New South Wales do something with it? The field goal would be worth 4 points. Let's not forget that. Would halve the gap with one shot. They're back out to the 25. ACT defence has been strong so far, Shay.
Yeah, look, New South Wales need to commit some players forward here. They're leaving, at the moment, sort of 3 and 4 back. This is their only power play for this final component of the evening, and I'm sure the message, if it hasn't already, will come out, certainly for the last minute or so of this, to press and have a go.
Now, interestingly, ACT have brought out Katrina Bailey-Price, and we saw her earlier. She was really dangerous in the mixed component. So the ACT have decided, well, we're going to go and attack, or the best form of defence is attack. They've brought in another attacking player.
That's right, Chris. But the beauty of Katrina Bailey-Price is a very fit player, so she really is a two-way player in that sense. She does provide a lot in attack, but she's also happy to get back and do work in defence.
We saw her there for a moment. She's got herself right up in the teeth of goal. Ball comes back, finds Economos. Economos takes the time. Clock ticking. New South Wales have been unable to capitalise on their power play. Economos again on the 25. In many ways, it'll just be hang on to the ball if the shot presents itself. No, it's Lee this time. Apologies, not Economos, Lee. They've both got similar hairstyles. It's very hard to pick them up, and those numbers are outline numbers only. I've got to confess they're a little bit hard to read under the lights now. Ball into the goal for the ACT, and history repeats itself.
Field goal for number 4.
That's a 4-pointer for Jess Smith. And the power play went horribly wrong in the men for New South Wales, and now it's gone horribly wrong for the women. Oh, it's not a 4-pointer. My apologies. It would have been a 4-pointer for New South Wales. It's a 2-pointer for the ACT, but still a chance to make it a 3-pointer.
That's right, and that's a wonderful goal there, Chris. Stayed on the ball, was close, didn't pull up and think a big swing was necessary. Composure and an excellent finish. Not so composed with the one-on-one.
No, didn't quite go according to plan, but
great save.
I don't think she cares one iota. Look at the massive smile on Jess Smith's face. Because let's face it, New South Wales are a strong side, generally regarded as a stronger side than New South Wales in women's hockey at most levels. The power play is called. New South Wales have added nothing during the power play. ACT have added points late in proceedings and have gone from an 8-point break to a 10-point break with 3 quarters, and their power play still to come, and ACT going for their power play in the final quarter. This could get really blown apart later on in the evening.
It could. It's certainly uphill for New South Wales now, and I'll be interested to see how ACT approach certainly the next couple of quarters.
Well, let's go down to ground level and get a little bit more news from what's happening down there. Doing the overtime now, Aaron Hopkins.
Now with a lot of new changes to the rules and the format, how are you finding it?
It's a bit different. It makes the game a little quicker at stages, particularly when they're pushing up for their power play. A bit more concentration to try and work out if there's the attackers in their attacking half at all the times. But yeah, it could be quite interesting once the players get used to the rules, yeah.
No, well, great work. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Nicely done, Aaron. I think Ash has been seconded by the PA crew here to do some announcements for the crowd here. And while you can't see much of the crowd on the screen, I can tell you it's a fairly decent crowd in the grandstand side, which is obviously where our camera is. Well, our camera's actually on the roof of the grandstand, so we can't even bring that to you, but there's a fairly good crowd there. We got a little bit of shot of the magnetic board there. Shay, did you pick anything up off it?
Look, it was difficult to see exactly what Brent Livermore was working on there, but I'm sure, looking at the scoreboard and the fact that their power play is gone now, they'll be urging them to press forward. They can't afford, certainly, to concede any more goals, but they need to score. And that's all keeping in mind that ACT still have their power play up their sleeve if they need to chase goals in that final quarter. It would be difficult to see them chasing goals now, but who knows?
Well, bear in mind it's now a 10-point game, which means even if everything was to go perfectly for New South Wales, they've got to score at least 4 times to peel this back now. That would be 3 3-point plays and then another play just to level things. So that's a very, very difficult task for New South Wales. ACT, though, as we've seen, you can actually give away points very, very quickly. So ACT can't afford to rest on their laurels and say we've got this 10-point break. It's comfortable because a couple of field goals and suddenly the whole thing changes. New South Wales will get their tail.
And Chris, there we go, a penalty corner straight away. And New South Wales, certainly, you know, they've got 10 points that they need to get away. They don't need to panic yet. They've still got 3 quarters, and they're a very talented side.
For all those that are watching the game tonight as well, Hockey ACT are conducting a survey to get your thoughts on the picture.
The penalty corners were interesting during the men's. We started to see a little bit of variety in that very clever play from New South Wales to put the ball just outside the 5-yard circle. Much more conventional penalty corner play for New South Wales.
And a good save there to the left.
New South Wales, they now rebound with the ball again and the potential for a field goal, which is, of course, worth 2 points for them. It's Patterson on the attack. Ball goes across the goal. Retrieved by Chaffee. Chaffee puts it out over the back line. So we'll come back out to the top of the circle. ACT withstand yet another challenge. Comes across, I think it's Lomas for the ACT. Turn it around. The ACT side just seemingly working a little bit more precision on their passing and not rushing things. And as the clock ticks, New South Wales are going to find they're going to have to go faster and faster. And of course, that goes against everything when your body's tired. You've got to give it everything.
It does, and you can see ACT now, they're in a position where they can control the ball. They're still getting numbers forward, but they don't need to rush.
Lifted into the circle. Getting onto it is Jess Smith, who's already scored a 2-pointer earlier today.
She's been very dangerous up front in both the mixed format and in this game.
The ACT through Economist and Lee. Just maintaining possession here. New South Wales content to let it ride at the moment, but at some stage they have to try and do something different. Just being worked around the circle. A bit of space, good stick work from New South Wales in defence. Sophie Gagan on the attack for the ACT, and it pays a benefit with a corner.
That was just persistence. New South Wales defending quite well, but unable to clear the ball. I think it was Kate Gilmore there, was able to just stay on the ball and push through.
How often do you see it, though? And it's one thing that we have seen a couple of times here in this nine-a-side version that hasn't changed. If you've got the ball inside the attacking circle, the longer you hang on to it, the better your odds are, if you can't get the shot away, of getting that penalty corner or the one-on-one. And although the corner unconverted by the ACT on this occasion, another good attacking opportunity for them. New South Wales speedily upfield now. The ball to a contest, though, in dispute. It'll be an ACT ball.
I'd still like to see New South Wales push forward here a bit. They've tended to sort of hold back.
Gagan got into space up forward. There was the big shot coming, and then the whistle came. That's a shame. I would have liked to have seen that shot.
We have 6.5 minutes remaining in this quarter.
Quick discussion of tactics. Trina Bailey-Price, Kate Gilmore. Who's in there? I think that's Tina Taseska, it is. And Meredith Bone to bring the ball in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spread out across the top of the circle. Bone brings it in. They take the ball outside. To get it back in and it'll be a 2-point play, but no luck.
And taking the same option New South Wales did, which is interesting, given their lead. They could have played it conservative and gone for the straight hit or the straight flick, but really trying to almost put it away here in this second quarter.
Well, as we said, if everything goes well, we'll just wait for a moment. Here's the ball's in, and now comes across to the outside again. Bones getting herself into the game at the moment. It is a 4-score game at the moment if everything goes well for New South Wales. Another 2 points for the ACT makes it virtually a 5-score game. So it's a smart play from the ACT. The risk is lessened just by the virtue of that margin there. That's Katrina Bailey Price on screen. New South Wales turn it around again.
One thing that ACT, the women have done very well here so far in this match is they've really made New South Wales work hard to get it out of their own half. ACT a few times have been able to come out easily and go long or with passes. New South Wales have really been made to work to get out of their own half.
Potential trouble here with New South Wales with a number overlap. It was Abigail Wilson who got it, but the pass was just tapped away at the last moment. Now Chaffee outside the circle, comes inside on the far side. Brings it across, ball in the air, across the face of goal. ACT probably a little bit more luck than management on that occasion. Send the ball deep into the attack, but it's picked up by Mallon. Mallon sends it around, gives it off to Tamsman Bunt. Bunt looking forward, finds Wilson. It's Abigail Wilson, still going, puts the shot in, deflection, sends the ball just on the near side of the goal and out of play.
And Lee it was, they're reaching in well and standing in front.
New South Wales continue to attack. Ball lifted by a New South Wales player, ACT to bring it away. And New South Wales, they've still got an extra player back. I find interesting because they've got to score. It's not about restricting the ACT anymore. They've got to put something on the board. 10 the difference between these sides at the moment. All out over the sideline, it'll still be the ACT. A little leisurely pace about the ACT going on attack at the moment, but there's no real problem for them there. Being brought in closer to the goal. New South Wales bring it away again through Bunt.
And here we see again New South Wales being made to work hard to get it out of their own half.
It's just basically one-on-one defence from the ACT. It's a bit old-fashioned in many ways, but if you're trying to slow down the other side, it's the best way to do it. I know zone defence is very, very popular in many ball sports, soccer in particular, basketball, and increasingly so in hockey. But when you want to slow the opposition down, the one-on-one, it'll do it every time. It's probably not as effective in terms of getting the ball off the other side, but it slows them down in any progress up the field.
And certainly in the front half, they're able to put a lot of pressure. And they're backing themselves to make steals or get the ball to the sideline and leave players a lot higher.
The ACT for a few seconds here. Getting fairly deep. I think that's Lomas behind the pole. And back through Gilmore. Gilmore put it into the circle. That was good work. Comes back to Gilmore. Across now to Seska, back to Gilmore.
New South Wales really should be pressing out now.
There's just no pressure on the ACT side. They're allowed to hold this. That's about 15 seconds they've had it unchallenged for. Now Lomas puts it in goalward. Target was Bone. Did it go over the back line? Don't think it did. New South Wales were calling for it. Ball's gone in the air. Almost takes the umpire's head off, but it comes across the field, across the far side.
A good shot and an excellent save there. But really, New South Wales, with a minute to go in this third quarter, should be pressing out and and challenging really every pass.
We did see, as we mentioned before, in the men, we did see the ACT put on a lot of points in a real hurry earlier, but you can't bank on that in this game because, well, fatigue is going to come in. At some stage, fatigue is going to happen. And let's not forget that half of these women, if not more, took part in the mixed component, so they've already played now approaching 40 minutes or nearly 40 minutes of hockey. So there's going to be a fatigue component in this, and I just think it might be New South Wales who may struggle a little bit more from that than the ACT. They'll come across to the right. Midfield at the moment. Again, good defence. Bone was trying to get it, almost stepped on the ball, I think, for a second there, but should just hold off. Now it's New South Wales. Fast break. Two defenders for the ACT in the middle, plus the goalkeeper is going to make it a little bit hard for the Sky Blue New South Wales side. Shot comes, good save there from McLaughlin. Still bouncing around. ACT have it. And again, just taking their time. Stoppage time for this period, this second period of the women's section. That's Morgan Blamey, you can see.
How have you been enjoying it?
The ball.
Yeah, I've been here for 3 months now.
Coming across to Emily Chaffee. Chaffee turns. There's another look. That's Bunt
and what are you thinking
again.
of this new format? Are you liking it?
Still got it. Taps it back now to Bunt. So New South Wales exploring their options. They finally brought an extra player forward. It was Morgan Blamey, who had it at the top of the circle. Congestion in the D. Shot comes, it's lifted.
Penalty corner.
And I thought there would be. I think it's lifted into an ACT leg. So it will be a corner for the New South Wales side. And what's this? This is the 8th period of the game, and I reckon it's the 6th one where New South Wales have had a penalty corner.
To finish it off.
To finish it off,
you're right,
yeah.
Chris. And they'll be desperate to put this away. I mean, they would back themselves certainly as fatigue sets in to potentially get a couple of goals in that last quarter. The problem, as we said, for New South Wales is that with the power play to come, if ACT score in that, your problems are double.
Yeah, a field goal in that power play, that's a 4-point play. Converted field goal becomes 6. That's all sorts of nightmares. New South Wales go for the orthodox power play straight to the top of the D.
Penalty stroke.
Penalty stroke. Well, we don't see too many of those awarded, and I wasn't expecting to see one of those here.
Interesting to see whether it's played out or whether it's itself converted into a one-on-one.
We'll find out in a second.
Come in our briefing.
No, haven't got that one.
So it'll be a penalty stroke.
I'm assuming a penalty stroke's worth 1. Yes, we think so. We don't have that anywhere in our briefing notes. I can guarantee you that one. Here comes the stroke, and it's into the net. And that's an easy point there for Abigail Wilson. So 22-13 as we're at halftime in the women's component, still 20 minutes of hockey to go.
Penalty stroke converted.
Watch the replay of the stroke.
15, Abigail Wilson. Stroke's worth 1. No.
Going low to the right.
After that. ACTAS 22.
So 22 points to 13 with 20 minutes of hockey to play.
Hard to see New South Wales coming back. Not impossible though.
No.
We saw ACT put on, I think it was 7 goals in 2 odd minutes or so. The problem for New South Wales that looms is that power play. As mentioned, I suspect ACT will wait right until the end of the match, just in case they need to call on it. So New South Wales here, hopefully, we see them pressing forward, and they'll need to.
I'm just wondering, does the ACT wait till the last 5 minutes, or do you take it early in that last quarter? If you've still got 9 or 10, say New South Wales, maybe even New South Wales score a couple here, say it's down to 7, do you take it early in that last quarter to try and just get yourself a bit ahead? So again, when the fatigue comes in, you're not risking everything during the power play with players up forward?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting point. Probably one that would be racking the mind of Ben Bishop a lot more if we were facing 5 goals. I think at the moment he's probably pretty comfortable with where things stand.
And great to see the crowd number here tonight. It did tick over 500, which is fabulous. It's 530 odd walking through the gates at the Hockey Centre tonight, which for a game between 2 academy sides, and let's not forget that these are academy sides, or the ACT Academy, New South Wales Institute of Sport. We're not talking about senior rep hockey here. That's a good number, especially for an experiment like this, and hopefully they'll all fill in the survey form and give their thoughts of it as a spectacle at the ground. And of course, you watching at home, you can do that as well by going to hockeyact.org.au and giving your thoughts on the game as well, whether you've enjoyed it, what you've liked about it, and perhaps if there is some constructive criticism on things that could be done better. I'm sure Hockey Australia and Hockey ACT would like to hear from you. We're into now the third quarter of the women's game. ACT going to the left of your screen, and they're doing so as we speak. New South Wales to the right through Georgina Mallon. Mallon across to the left now. Dispossessed. ACT with Taseska in the midfield. I just wonder whether this is going to be a really pivotal 5 minutes or so here, whether it's the ACT going to throw everything at New South Wales to just try and shut the door and not have to withstand a real late flurry in the last quarter.
Well, certainly, and it was interesting to see then ACT right off the hit-off attacking and pushing players forward. So they're certainly not holding back yet, and they're probably quite comfortable in the knowledge that they can play with a bit of freedom still. I'm sure if this tightens up, we might see things change somewhat.
New South Wales with the first real attacking opportunity. It's Emily Chaffee. I think we can actually say that was a shot from just on the edge of the circle, but was deflected away. New South Wales retained possession. We did see New South Wales eventually get a point on the board after some sustained possession, but they really let the ACT dictate the terms of play for, I'd reckon, 7 minutes out of that first 10. ACT had the ball for much more than New South Wales, and again, the ACT in no real hurry to restart play here. Obviously, they'll get the hurry up from the umpire if necessary, while staying in the field of play. Nicely done by Sophie Gagan.
And again, in this component, telling that New South Wales were unable to score in their power play. A goal or two then, and we really see things tighten up now.
Well, that's for sure. My apologies. It was actually Apps, not Gagan before, and then it was Lomas. So the ACT side finally getting an attack together. They're inside the circle and then back out again. New South Wales. Geez, they've just got to work twice as hard at the moment. Massive deficit to overcome. If you have just joined us and you're wondering how can a game be 22-13, field goals in this game are worth 2 points. Penalty corners are worth 1. If there's a field goal, you get a chance with a one-on-one to convert it to a 3rd-point play. Each team gets a power play as well of 5 minutes, during which time their plays are double. And we did see the ACT, courtesy of Glenn Turner, manage a 4-point goal and a 2-point conversion. So 9 points the difference, and he's racked up 6 of those. Had a pretty good night, has the wily veteran. Evans with the short corner push. ACT try the variation off to the left, and it's batted away over the sideline eventually. The mask is removed. It'll be a New South Wales ball. Trying the back stick. It's good positioning actually there from Renee Hunter, not fooled by the initial possession on the corner. And positioned herself well for the secondary shot. ACT still with the ball. They bring it back up outside the 25. There's been a whistle. Not sure what that was for. New South Wales now have the ball, and I don't think the ACT were quite set. I don't think either side were quite set there, other than the New South Wales player who had it. ACT on the charge, round to the left, round to the right. On top of it is Smith. Smith has another look, another go. Keeper kicks it away. All goes away. Oh, so it's 20-12. 20 to. So it was 20-12 at the start of the women. So we haven't. This is what we saw in the men, though. The points didn't start to rack up until the third quarter, where things really went berserk. And it was 2-0 to the ACT to New South Wales at half time in the men's game, and then all hell broke loose. So we're into the third quarter here. We've only seen 3 points scored so far in this women's game. But the ACT with Michaela Evans at the corner, and we've had the whistle, so we'll have another crack at that, I think. ACT breaking early. I think both sides might have gone early on that one.
New South Wales will certainly be eager to.
We're going to get another go here. Umpire will get a little bit frustrated in a moment.
New South Wales viewers will notice are down to 2 field players now defending in the goal. Each time you break, and that one is sent back to the halfway.
Yep. No break this time. Plenty of gaps. ACT take it outside the additional 5-yard circle in an attempt to turn it into a 2-point play, but the ball goes wide.
And ACT able to play with that freedom, although they're
Why
in front.
not?
Yeah.
Again, the longer the ACT can just keep the ball in the attacking area, the harder it becomes for New South Wales. What have we had? About 5 minutes in this third quarter of the women's game played now. We've got a big whistle. This will be another ACT ball. Evans, we didn't see a lot of her in the first half of the women's game, but seen a lot of her in the last 5 minutes or so. And suddenly, big turnover. Very poor pass. Onto it is Watterson. Effectively a one-on-one. She can tap it across. She'll get it back. Or no, we'll just see the easy 2-pointer unopposed. Big smiles there. And it's New South Wales. They pulled 2 points back, 22-15, and they've got a chance to close the door. They don't come much easier than this.
No, they don't. And if she gets this, it's still only 2 field goals. They'll need to convert those, obviously, but first of all, she needs to put this away.
So, well played by Alice Arnott. Could almost have passed it back to Watterson, but there was no need.
Time is of the essence, I think, for New South Wales at the moment, Chris. Get it in as quickly as they can.
Arnott versus McLaughlin. McLaughlin with the protective gear, charges out to the penalty spot.
Wonderful
she's gone to ground and been completely wrong-footed by Arnott, and that's another point to New South Wales, 22-16. So 9 points becomes 6.
22, NSWIS 16.
I do a lot of baseball commentary, Shay Onatiri, and one of the big theories that was discussed in the Australian Baseball League this year, I don't know whether you pay any attention to it or not, was a very high-scoring season. In the ABL this year, we saw some big leads overcome, and there was this theory, just chip away at a big lead, chip away. Forget about it being 6 or 7 points the difference. Just chip away, get 1, get 2, and we saw some magnificent comebacks in the Australian Baseball League. Maybe we'll see that here.
Well, we can see New South Wales pressing forward again. They still look confident, and it's good to see they're pushing players forward.
New South Wales score next, they will have momentum, and there's a lot to be said. That's two scoring plays in a row for New South Wales. Let's not forget they had the penalty stroke just before the half-time break. So they've scored the last 2 plays here, and we've got a card here. We've got a yellow card. That's a New South Wales player coming off for a few minutes. Oh, gee, now that's going to be tough. 9 on 9 becomes 9 on 8. And I'm assuming New South Wales will have to still keep 2 players inside the forward 50. So suddenly the numerical advantage for the ACT should be quite dramatic. I'm not sure whether that's a 5-minute or a 10-minute. I think it'll only be 5 minutes.
I think it'll be 5 minutes. And I think what it'll mean for ACT is that at the back they'll be able to mark up. But to ACT's credit, here they go again, still pressing their defenders forward when they've got the ball in hand. So we'll see at the end of the night, but for the moment, they're being rewarded for their bravery. Yeah,
what you're seeing on the screen there, the 2 most defensive ACT players there, other than the goalkeeper. They had no one other than the goalkeeper in their defensive half. You don't have to have anyone in your defensive half, but you've got to have 2 players in your attacking half. So the ACT really trying to ram home their numerical advantage at the moment. New South Wales have the ball. I don't think there's too much disappointment being shown at copying a card there somehow. That's Katrina Bailey-Price. On the attack for the ACT, but again, it all comes to naught. Now it's Watterson for New South Wales, turning around on it. There's Economist. Oh, this is good play from the ACT. Gilmore has plenty of time, plenty of space. Just needs to get it on the right side, keeps it on the wrong side, sends it across, punched away by the New South Wales keeper, Renee Hunter, over the goal line. We'll come back up to the 25. ACT will have another go. Bear in mind, ACT have a 1-woman advantage at the moment. Ball comes in from outside the circle. They look for the deflection, can't get it. And we see the umpire saying, no, that's been lifted a little bit. That will be a New South Wales ball back at the top of the circle. About 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
Space now for New South Wales.
Down 2 minutes remaining this quarter.
Good defence there. I think it's Economist again. On the attack, New South ACT, it was Bone was the target, couldn't do a great deal with it. New South Wales, I tell you, there's a couple of players when they're not on the ball just starting to take a couple of very big breaths. That's Watterson, still on the attack is Watterson, and then loses the ball. New South Wales bring it back with Bunt. Watterson again, tapped away a second time. Watterson still going. Has she got a third attempt in it? Well, she has a third attempt and she put it a long way up. That wasn't far off.
That was wonderful skill and a good quick shot. Just got underneath it, and that would have made things very interesting.
You can just see there the backstick shot. We've talked about how that's become so commonplace. It's probably one of the more spectacular elements of hockey, something that as a game we could do a little bit more selling of. And I think, again, this 9-a-side format where the field goals are worth 2, we're going to see more play like that if this product becomes more widespread. So there's certainly a visual highlight to keep an eye out for as we see New South Wales on the go once again through Patterson. Patterson still going, takes the shot and the shot goes wide. What have we got? Time up, except for injury time, well not injury time, but time added on for stoppages.
And ACT certainly slowed down in this last couple of minutes, so they'll be looking at the clock, I'm sure. Well, that won't help them because our clock's down still.
Exactly. So there's no clock working on the scoreboard. They'll know that they're into about the last minute or so of time, if not more. Bear in mind, New South Wales have had scoring opportunities in, I think it's, what did we decide it was? 5 of the 6 periods so far as time has elapsed. And they've converted most of those as well during the course of proceedings. Can they do it again? Well, here comes Watterson across. Ball tapped away from her. It goes up to the top of the circle. And for once, it's not New South Wales having a chance to score late in proceedings. But with 10 minutes of play remaining, 5 minutes of that will be ACT power play conditions. The Canberra side go in as favourites, you'd think, to win this one with a 6-point lead. But we saw all sorts of strange stuff happen during the men before. Shayon Atiri, your thoughts as we go into the last 10?
Yeah, look, I think ACT will certainly be happy to have the break. They were looking a little tired for that last 2 minutes. It's not a long break, though, so there's not a lot of reprieve. Ben Bishop will be rotating his players, I'm sure. New South Wales will go in with a bit of confidence. I think they were attacking very well there at the end and creating really good opportunities, not just moving the ball into their front half, but actually penetrating into the circle and getting away some good shots. And as we said, look, the danger for New South Wales is ACT scoring in their power play, of course. But if that doesn't happen, we've got a game on our hands.
I think for ACT, it's almost any score will do here. I know that we're going to see fatigue, and that opens up gaps and gives teams scoring opportunities. But just from reading how the women's game has unfolded here, I think almost any score, even a 1-pointer, will probably be enough to get ACT home. They can't afford to rely on that. They can't afford to think that, but I reckon that's how it'll be. I think New South Wales are capable of scoring 6 points, but we haven't really seen enough points so far. What have we seen? In 3 quarters, we've seen New South Wales score 4, ACT score 2.
And look, Chris, isn't it interesting, even with the way the scoring goes, that now you need to move from simply thinking about scoring goals, but the way you score them.
Yeah. So we've seen plenty of back sticks, we've seen plenty of corners, we've seen penalty strokes, we've seen just about everything. Let's get down before we restart to Aaron Hopkins on the sideline.
We got Ben Bishop here, the ACTAS coach. Now 1 quarter to play, and you got the power play up your sleeve. What's the tactics leaving it so late?
Yeah, well, this was our quarter for the power play. We're going to do it straight away because we have an extra player advantage now with their yellow card. So we're going to hope for the best here.
And a 6-goal lead with a quarter to play. Feeling confident?
It's good. It's exciting.
Right there with ACTAS having the power play in the 4th quarter, and New South Wales
6 goals, but it's certainly not over. They can chase that down really quickly here.
Thanks very much, Bish. All the best.
Power play period. All goals will be worth double.
Well, here we go. This is going to be really interesting. New South Wales have taken the power play because... Sorry, ACT have taken the power play because New South Wales are a player down for another minute and a half with a player in the bin. But New South Wales looking to take advantage of it. This will be somewhat remarkable if they can do that. So for the first 90 seconds, ACT double points, a player advantage. They've got to be a chance to actually do something here. They're going to go absolutely flat out and leave nothing behind.
They are, but with that player advantage, they just conceded a shot. Luckily for them, not on target. So still a tight game. New South Wales look to have the run in their legs at the moment. It'll be a question of whether ACT can control the ball, and certainly, of course, if they can put any scoreboard pressure on in the power play, one would think it would be almost impossible for New South Wales to come back.
New South Wales not rushing things at all in their own defensive territory during the power play. Here we go, though. ACT with a chance. Come around, find Apps. They've run everyone forward. They've got nobody back other than their keeper. Now it's with Lomas.
And New South Wales have their player back on.
New South Wales are back to a full complement. Number 15, have a go.
Runs on board, but it's still power play time. Shot comes, shot goes wide.
Have about 3 minutes remaining.
And a field goal.
So we're back at 9 on 9, and the ground announcer has just confirmed that there's 3 minutes of the power play remaining.
Keep an eye on how this goes. ACT, 2 priorities. One is to try and score. More important is not to give up the ball. Lomas across field.
And again, New South Wales need to be pressuring these passes if they're going to be a chance.
Especially during the power play. They've got to just have a go. ACT keeping everyone forward. Ball on the edge of the circle. They come back out to the 25. And they've got Lomas and Bone on the outside. Lomas puts the ball in. It's a little bit of a dribbler.
ACT need to work now. New South Wales have numbers up on the right.
Well, ball comes out over the sideline, so ACT get it back, a little bit fortuitous. Apps once again. Across to the far side. Gilmore, now it comes across to Apps again. What's left in the power play clock? Still about 2 minutes remaining. Was that Evans with the shot?
And a wonderful tackle there, very courageous, reaching in with the back stick.
Bet the eyes were closed. Mine would have been. I'm just going to put the stick in there and hope.
And hoping the camera's not on you.
Exactly. It's a great shot when the eyes are open, but gee, when they it's hard to keep them open when the ball's potentially going to come at you like that.
Still a good tackle either way.
Absolutely. It's all about the positioning. Doesn't matter whether your eyes are open or shut when the ball's coming at you at speed. It's all about where you've got yourself positioned first up. 2 minutes remaining in the power play, or just shy of. ACT have not scored. Neither have they conceded. We're going to get a grandstand finish in this one. I suspect we may just do that, although the ACT with a chance here. Into the circle. Options over on the left. Penalty corner. This will become a one-on-one. So this could be the points, or the 2 points that the ACT need here.
And then it makes it very difficult
it will.
for New South Wales. They would need to not only score, but score field goals.
So just a reminder that during the power play, there are no short corners, so it's a straight one-on-one here for ACTAS.
This will be important. We haven't seen a lot of Evans early in play, but she's become more and more integral in the ACT attack. Where does she go? Straight up, straight up. Jinx left, turns around, gets it on the back stick, goes around, she's around the keeper and gets it in!
Great goal.
2 points to Evans, 24-16.
Taking ACTAS out to a 24-16 lead.
So 8 points the difference. 6-ish minutes remaining. And still about a minute left in the power play for the ACT. New South Wales with it all to do. I reckon the people from Hockey ACT might just be very, very happy with how this has turned out.
1 minute left on their power play.
I reckon before play started it would have been, if we can stay competitive in this one, we'll be pretty happy. To actually be 8 points up with 5 minutes remaining, I think there'll be absolutely massive grins down there at ground level.
And I think, as well as the score, the way they've played, they've been courageous in all three periods of the play. They've been up in the women's game, and the women went in with a significant lead. But again, and here they go, and our viewers can't see it all, but ACT pushing numbers forward and prepared to do the work to get back and defend them.
I don't think there's been one-on-one defence from ACT for anywhere in this second half. We saw a bit of it in the first half of this women's game, but we haven't really seen any of it since the half-time break. So this is great. The ACT really taking the attacking momentum. And there can't be much left in this power play.
And there it is.
Love it when you make a call like that. We don't have an accurate clock on the scoreboard either. We don't have any clock on the scoreboard, so it's just a gut feel that we're at about 5 minutes there. And now the equation's very simple. 5 minutes, 8 points to level it up for New South Wales. I think they're in trouble.
And look, I think, though, New South Wales, both the men and women, will take quite a lot out of this. As far as the play goes up and down the field, it's been quite even. What we've seen is ACT taking advantage of the power plays and also then able to convert that one-on-one after some of the field goals. And that's probably been the difference between the two sides.
Well, in the end, it comes down to, I think, that New South Wales power play in the men's game, or the men's section, where the ACT, look, they had a little bit of luck to start with, but it just showed, and it's and I've mentioned it a couple of times tonight, momentum is massive in sport, and especially in a game like hockey, where if you can get a couple of goals in quick time, in regular hockey, it works out quickly. In this format, where field goals are worth double and potentially more than that, if you can put them together back to back, just the psychological value of looking up on the board and seeing, wow, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 7, as we see the ACT on the attack again, top of the circle, little chip shot goes wide.
And I think you're right, Chris. The other factor has been since that third quarter in the men's match, ACT have had scoreboard pressure, and New South Wales haven't been quite sure how to go. They've been conscious not to concede any more goals, but I don't think they've really gone full throttle in trying to catch up.
Gilmore across to the far side. The ACT still playing everybody up. There are 8 ACT players within 30 yards of the goal, of the attacking goal. And that, in addition to giving the ACT more attacking options, it's also making it very hard for New South Wales to work out who to cover, because the ACT, it's almost as though New South Wales have got 2 players in the sin bin, because the ACT have been able to bring the players up. And again, that's the advantage of being 8 up with, 3 minutes left to play.
And look, if you're prepared to do the running and you've got the stamina to do it, to get back and defend, whilst yes, it's attacking, you're bringing players forward, it enables you to control a game in almost a defensive sense, because you bring your 9th player forward and you can just control the ball.
Now, with 2 and a bit minutes remaining in this one, there's one other question I'd like to ask you, Shay. The coaches for tonight, they've had to effectively coach 3 different games. They've had to coach the men's game, the mixed game, and the women's game. That's a whole new challenge that'd be a massive challenge in any sport, but I think particularly in hockey, where we've never seen mixed hockey before. How do you think the coaches have gone tonight?
Look, I think they've done a wonderful job, and you've got 2 coaches in Brent Livermore and Ben Bishop who live and breathe hockey. Long days at the hockey and long days coaching aren't going to be a problem for them. I think they'll take a lot out of it in terms of what they need to do to prepare the players in terms of various structures. I'm sure substitutions have been something that have played on their mind. But also we've noticed throughout both 3 components that the way each team has played. So they've taken a really active role. They haven't just let the games unfold.
That could be How are
New
you
South
finding
Wales
this
have pressed
format?
it sometimes, at
Yeah,
other
it's
times
really
they've
good.
fallen away.
Quite hard
ACT
work out
likewise.
those 9 players, but
Well, we're into the last couple of minutes of this one, and it's 8 points the difference. And the ACT, they're not happy with an 8-point lead. They'd love to get it out to double digits, and double figures always sound so much better. Tateska puts it forward. New South Wales coming away with it. New South Wales really have slowed up. I think the energy levels have taken a beating for New South Wales, and I think also being a player short for 5 minutes due to a yellow card. And I'm just thinking, again, comparison here, say 7-a-side rugby, where you see a side get a player down due to a sin bin or a sending off, the extra energy that the players left out there on the field have got to expend. I think that's something that we're going to see if we see more of this 9-a-side hockey. Player discipline is going to be really, really crucial. A card can be very, very costly.
And there we go. New South Wales getting 2 points back late, probably too late. And I think really that goal by ACT in their power play took the wind out of New South Wales sails.
We just see the backstick shot, again another backstick shot, and I think just tapped in there by, was it Watterson who tapped it in, or was the backstick shot? That's hard to say quickly. Directly in. What do we get for the conversion? I think the players are aware that time has almost expired. So that's 3 points to New South Wales. And there goes the siren. Well, in in 6 out of 8 periods, we reckon, we weren't keeping official stats on it, but in 6 out of 8 periods, New South Wales had a scoring opportunity as time was expiring. But in the end, across 100 minutes of hockey from men's, mixed and women, it's the ACT who wound up with 24, New South Wales 19. And, well, what else can we say about this one? It's been most entertaining. It's been a little bit different, at times a little bit complicated to follow, but I think that's just because of the newness of the format.
Look, and the thing that I've been impressed by is the standard of the hockey throughout. Obviously, with 9 aside, there's a lot of work for the players to do and a lot of ground to cover. But the way the format is put together means that you're at each stage you're bringing in fresh players. Half the team in the mixed component is fresh, and then you get another input of fresh players for the women's game at the end. So we didn't see, yes, fatigue came into it, but we didn't see the standard drop off. And each game had its period where the teams felt each other out, but other than that, it really was quite attacking hockey.
Yeah, you might wonder whether this game meant anything to the players. I can tell you, just watching the ACT players coming off, that's meant a lot to those ACT players. Samantha Economist in particular was jumping up and down for joy. Plenty of big smiles there. And saw Tara McLaughlin, the ACT goalkeeper, coming off before as well. Once the mask came off, there was a big smile there. So, oh yeah, this has meant something. As we said before, little brother, or little sister if you like, against big sister at the end. But ACT sides love beating New South Wales, so it certainly meant something there.
We've had over 500
Let's get down to the sideline one last time. Oh, we might catch up with a couple of players, but let's get down to Aaron Hopkins.
We also had a very strong attendance and audience.
Down with Abigail Wilson from the NSWIS team. Congratulations. How did you enjoy the series?
Yeah, it was really tough to try and adjust to the Niners side, but in the end I think we kind of worked out how to win the AV6 and just holding the ball a bit more in the attacking half, and that really helped us up front, getting more opportunities to have a crack.
And congratulations to yourself. The women won their series. The men, unfortunately, not as successful against ACT.
Yeah, the boys might have to get a few tips from us because obviously they let the team down today, but that's all right. We'll go back to Sydney and give them a few words.
Well, safe travels back. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So 24-19, I'm not sure whether you say 24 points to 19, 24 goals to 19. Let's just say 24-19. ACTAS over NSWIS here in this 9-a-side on-field product test. Now, before you disappear, a reminder that the hockey authorities in Australia are looking for feedback on this new format with the men's, the mixed and the women. You can do so by filling out a survey online, hockeyact.org.au. We'll have a summary with myself and Shay up here in the broadcast box in just a moment, but we did say he was doing the overtime. Aaron Hopkins down with one of the victorious ACT players.
I've got Michaela Evans from ACTAS. Congratulations on the series. How'd you find it?
Yeah, it was pretty good, a bit faster, so it was a bit better than sort of not doing too much, so yeah.
Yep, and you scored a couple of goals as well, so congratulations.
Yeah, 1-on-1. So had a 1-on-1 in the grand final last year and I stuffed it up, so I was cheering to get that one.
Well, congratulations on the series and a great win for ACTAS.
Yep, thank you.
So let's have a quick wrap up here. I'll try and compile some sort of scoring stats, but believe me, I've got pieces of paper scattered as far as the eye can see across our commentary box. I wasn't quite expecting to have to do as much paperwork during the course of proceedings as we've done. But Shay Ontiri, while I get my details together, just some final thoughts from you on what we've seen here tonight at Lynham.
Look, I think it's been a wonderful exercise. Hockey needs to try new things to capture both, I guess, the TV market, but also people playing. There'll be things about tonight that I'm sure the players will give feedback and the coaches will. But I think as far as what it set out to do, and that was highlight lots of the things about hockey that we think, those of us that are ingrained in the game, are exciting, it did that. We had lots of open play, we had lots of attacking play, lots of shots, certainly lots of goals or points, 24-19. And the other thing that I think was fantastic about the format and the rules is that although at periods it looked as though we were set for a blowout, you're able to get points quickly, and in the end it finished at quite a tight game, and that's impressive over a long period. 3 different components, 100 minutes of hockey, and we finished within 5 points. I think there's a lot to take out of it.
My fear for this before I came along was that going down to 9-a-side, you were going to see basically it's going to be all about the faster players and the players with speed. I don't think, and Glenn Turner, if you're watching this this far into the replay, I don't mean this with any disrespect to you, but I don't think you're the fastest man out there anymore, but you are one of the more influential players in there. And this format where you've got to have players up in the forward half at all times, for players who aren't blessed with speed but have the skill, there's a position for them. For good defensive players, there's a position for them. We've still got to see all the skills of hockey showcased in this format tonight, and perhaps even in some ways the skills of the game, especially, and again, look at Turner, I'll give you some points about him in a moment, accentuated just that little bit more because of the additional space available in attack.
Yeah, look, and that's something I had thought about coming into this evening, but certainly if we look at in the men's game, Aaron Kershaw, who is quite quick around the ground, but certainly what he brought to the game tonight was that stability and control at the back, and that allowed players like Glenn Turner and Lewis Shepherd. So there certainly is still a role for the deep defender. They need to be mobile, they need to be fit, but there is still a role. In the women's game, we had Sassy Economist getting up and down the pitch and also providing that resolute defence.
Now, let's see if we've got this, and it goes close to adding up before we wrap up. Glenn Turner, by my reckoning, wound up with 7 points. Jake Staines wound up with 6. Lewis Shepherd wound up with 5. Jess Smith for the ACT wound up with 4 and Michaela Evans with 2. I apologise if I've missed anyone, but I've got points spread across 3 pages there. That's something that I'll work on for next time if it happens again. For New South Wales, Kurt Lovett, he went up with, what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 all up. Isaac Vermillo had 2, Ryan Proctor had 2, Abigail Wilson had 2, Alice Arnott had 3, and Jess Watterson had 3. I think I've missed someone in there for New South Wales. Apologies if I have, but like I said, it's been a very high-scoring affair. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as we've enjoyed calling it. Shayon Atiri, it's been great to meet you and great to work alongside you tonight. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Chris. I enjoyed it.
And just before we wrap up, a quick reminder about some of the sponsors for the day. Capital Chemists, Duncan's Plumbing Service, Canberra Labour Club, Powerhouse Physiotherapy, and on behalf of Hockey ACT, thank you to everyone who's been involved in today. There's been a lot of people getting on board to make this product test happen, including the ACT Academy of Sport, the New South Wales Institute of Sport, Hockey Australia, various state bodies, Hockey ACT, Hockey New South Wales, all the match officials, and there's been plenty of those across the course of proceedings. The ball kids had a great time as well. And a big thank you to everyone from Bar TV for getting on board as well. I hope you've enjoyed it. A reminder once again, you can fill in a survey about what you thought about this new format online at hockeyact.org.au. But on behalf of your commentary team here this evening, that is Shayon Atiri, Aaron Hopkins. We didn't actually hear from Ashley Deacon. She was seconded by the on-ground team, but she was here tonight, and well done to you for your on-ground interviews. Ash, this is Chris Coleman signing off from Lyneham on this wonderful, wonderful hockey evening.